China's ceasefire is still in place. Secretary of State Marco Rubio flying from India to Armenia says negotiations continue trying to work out a deal.
Like anything with something like this, it's going to take a couple days to settle on, even down to the disagreements over a word.
But Iran's Supreme Leader, Mustafa Khamenei, put out a statement that American military bases in that region are no longer safe after those strikes on Iran again.
U.S. Central Command giving an update. Spokesman Timothy Hawkins saying, quote, U.S. forces conducted self-defense strikes in southern Iran today to protect our troops from threats posed by Iranian forces. Targets included missile launch sites and Iranian boats attempting to emplace mines. U.S. Central Command continues to defend our forces while using restraint during the ongoing ceasefire.
Fox's Carly Shimkus. Israel's ramping up the fight against Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon again. The military's called up more troops, and after Prime Minister Netanyahu authorized more intense strikes, one targeting Hezbollah infrastructure left 12 people dead in a village, according to state media in Lebanon. It's primary runoff day in Texas, with Republican Senator John Cornyn's job on the line, facing a strong GOP challenger, State Attorney General Ken Paxton, who's backed by President Trump.
In the first go-around on March 3rd, U.S. Senator John Cornyn secured the largest number of votes. A win today would help him get one step closer to a fifth term. Attorney General Paxton was the second-place finisher in the March vote, and last week he received President Donald Trump's endorsement.
That's Fox's Alex Hogan. They're celebrating in New York.
It's over. Believe it, Knicks fans, for the first time in 27 years, the New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals.
The call on ESPN after the Knicks blew out the Cavaliers in Cleveland by 37 points to complete a sweep. New York's 11th straight playoff win. They'll play either the Spurs or Thunder in the finals. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever been in a really bad relationship? Kind of wears you down, right? You settle in even though deep down this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's what daily aches and pains feel like. You stop expecting to feel good. You start thinking, maybe this is just life now. But it doesn't have to be. With Relief Factor, you can break up with pain, just like Anthony did. Anthony wrote to me, he said, Glenn, I was dealing with debilitating pain and fatigue. I've been taking Relief Factor for about 2 months, and now I'm back to running my business, fishing, gardening, and doing all the things that actually matter to me. This is why I endorse Relief Factor. It has helped me, and I know it's helping so many in this audience live their lives to the full potential. Is it your turn? Relief Factor, 100% drug-free, targets inflammation that causes pain so you can move better, feel better, and actually enjoy life again. Try the 3-week quick start. It's $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Break up with pain and get back to what matters. Relieffactor.com, 800-4RELIEF.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Xtra, only on Xtra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Appreciate you being here up early with us on the Morning Xtra at Xtra 106.3. A short week this week, so not only did you get a long weekend, you're about to get a short week at work, too. The wins just keep coming in, and front office Los is back, too. What's up, dude?
Good morning, all.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Dude has been down in tropical paradise for 4 or 5 days. Come back all rested and refreshed.
Yeah, it was nice to do the Dominican Republic first time in 15 years. We're at a newer resort, a Hyatt one, Tides. Tides Secrets was the brand, and Tides is the resort. And
okay.
I can highly suggest it for anyone who's looking for a very new place, very comfortable, very awesome, great staff, and all of your normal worries when it comes to Dominican. You don't worry about it at a facility that new. Like, I drank the water the entire time.
Oh, wow.
Brushed the teeth, everything else. Not a big deal.
Yeah, you usually got to be careful with stuff like that. But
not this time around, baby.
They get them. They put the right filters in, or
everything
something.
Was good.
Good. That's
everything
awesome.
was great.
That is good news right there. What was the best thing you did down there? I mean, did you get snorkeling? Did you see some sea life?
We didn't do anything.
Just not jack. Just in fact, eat, drink, and be happy.
My favorite thing to do was as we got to about 12:30, sometimes about 1:30, as we're in the pool bar, because I had a number of them on property. The discussion was, do you want to get lunch now or do you want to wait another hour?
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'd go eat squid.
Yeah, right.
It was that kind of week for me.
I love it.
And I'd never had squid before. I loved it.
Oh, squid is so good.
Well,
shoot, yeah, man.
So outside of like calamari, We're talking like non-breaded, like actual squid.
Yes,
right off the grill.
So tasty.
Oh.
So tasty.
So good.
Yeah, it is, man. Holy cow. Well, that's awesome, man. We didn't do much of anything because we didn't go anywhere. We just chilled out at the house. Friday night went to like a cul-de-sac party, met some of our new neighbors, which was great, and then was lazy. And I think it was Sunday we did a cookout. Saturday we did absolutely nothing. Sunday a cookout, and yesterday absolutely nothing. So it was like perfect.
As I steer things over towards politics, you're telling me that you didn't use Memorial Day weekend to step in it big time by trying to score political points.
I did not. No, I didn't. I didn't bring in any George Floyd. No, I didn't do anything.
I didn't go down the road of saying, "Oh, look, 13 people have been killed in Iran," and try to score political points off of that against the Trump administration, which it went so poorly. When the other Democrats turned on the DNC, the Democrats deleted the post.
Yes, of course. And then the Jacob Fry, the one I saw trying to gain political points.
Yeah.
Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, trying to pull in
Memorial Day and tie it into George Floyd.
Exactly. Like, and man, you want to talk about getting ratioed?
Yeah, that was
cow.
That was a quick one.
But there's just two examples of people like, how do we score on this Memorial Day weekend? Well, nobody will be paying attention to us. We'll just get good points here.
Yeah, I decided not to try and score it anyway, but we have a history of people that have made the ultimate sacrifice for this country and my family, and that's what Memorial Day is for.
Absolutely right.
That's what it's for. Veterans Day, different. Memorial
Totally
Day,
different.
It's for our fallen.
That's exactly right. But the one thing I will say is people get a little sideways with the Happy Memorial Day. They died so you can have a Happy Memorial Day, so it's fine.
Yes, go enjoy, go barbecue.
That's exactly right, dude. But there were I'd gotten an email, and it just said, make sure you don't say anything about Happy Memorial Day at one of my side gigs, and I was just like. None of y'all served. None of y'all. I don't even know if you have any family members that have. I have no idea. But I understand your sentiment. But you're doing it for all the wrong reasons.
If it stands for something, for many families, especially those that are newer Gold Star families, have last 30, 40 years, it's just a chance to talk about that family member. And that's the day. And oftentimes, that is one of the best days of the year.
That's right.
That is awesome when you can bring up a family member who made that sacrifice, and you can do it over a beer and a barbecue and a plate of ribs and talk about what that person was like.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah, but
and the family enjoys it.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. And I think most people understand it. Most people get it. And it was a sweet Memorial Day. It's just a good day to find the good in the world, and there's some out there if you'll look for it. And those people laying down their lives in the name of freedom is the sweetest thing you could possibly ask of anyone. And it's
but don't ask for a month.
Yeah,
because that's for pride.
That's exactly right.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't get too out there. Right. You get one day for giving up your life in service to this country.
Yeah.
But if you shake it at a parade, you get a month.
But see, that's the thing.
So you didn't get this from Ben.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
I'm back, baby.
Let's go. But that's the thing is the pride stuff. All that stuff is made up. It's almost like mattress sales on Memorial Day. That's what it reminds me of because it's so fake and not real. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you've now reduced their entire plight and fight to mattress sales.
Well, but that's what it comes off as.
On Memorial Day.
That's what it comes off as.
I'm going to give you 40% off on this one now. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Woo, here we go.
But that's what I see it on signs.
Memorial Day should have and I don't even want to say solemn. It's just it's a great and terrible day. And it should be honored as such and not trivialized as Jacob Fry tried to do or what you had with the DNC that tried to do off of it because of their lack of respect for those who serve.
That's exactly right, man. Your Spurs get kicked back off tonight in Game 5.
It was
you feeling good?
Yeah, no, okay. It was a tough watch in the Dominican because anytime you try and watch American sports, first off, I'll just say that Claro, I guess that's like their AT&T that provides like service to the area, phone, internet, everything. It's not exactly foolproof Okay, like you are going to get drops in this thing. So I would be watching, and then for 90 seconds it would drop out entirely, and then it would come back with a new score, and you're like, oh. Okay, so I'm looking forward to good old Americana watching tonight, where I can just actually sit on my couch and actually watch the game in its entirety.
Were you not able to use your own streaming services that blacked out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once you're... They treated me as being out of the region. In fact, I tried to log in with yours too, and it gave me the whole. There's something appears to be wrong with the login, Mr. Tug.
Oh well, that's weird.
Maybe because I'm in another part of the world.
Yeah, maybe it has to be the reason.
Yeah, I couldn't access that. Couldn't access Hulu. Couldn't access, and this hurt too. Couldn't get to my prize picks.
Now
I went three games without making any money on this stuff.
Is there a way to use a
VPN to do it?
You still can't get around it? I don't know the answer.
It wasn't worth it enough for me to find out.
Got it.
I got to see enough. And so, that fight will continue tonight. And then I also got wind of what happens when you have a baseball season that plays out like a baseball season, and Braves Twitter goes nuts.
Yeah, they lost 2 to the Nationals. People in meltdown. They
like, you didn't hit for a weekend. Okay, it's a baseball season.
Yeah,
stop trying to consume it like a football season.
Yeah, it works totally differently. Yeah, nobody panicked at our house. We was just like, well, we probably need to hit the baseball better next time.
Just didn't hit for a weekend. That's all.
At the Red Sox for the next 3, and then at the Reds through the weekend. But we watched, man, we were going back and forth because we're such a baseball family. We were watching the SEC baseball tournament, the ACC baseball. And let me tell you, it was so much fun. Georgia and Georgia Tech both winning their respective conference championships was pretty impressive, dude. It was fun to watch.
They've been 2 of the best teams in all of college baseball all year long. And so you want to get through the regional process, get to that super regional, and it'd be really cool if you could land a multitude of local teams in the College World Series.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting out to Omaha would be so much stinking fun. We'll see how all that shakes out because I do not know. But I think they got as good a shot as anybody. And we were talking about it. Just, are there any just behemoth teams out there? And they don't seem to be. So it'll be fun to watch those local teams hopefully try to get out there. We'd watched a couple movies over the weekend, which it doesn't always happen. But I'm telling you,
Interstellar?
No, we didn't get to that one.
Oh, my God.
We watched the...
so disappointed.
Okay,
it's not... This is called pre-disappointment. Boo! Okay, I know what we've asked you to watch because it's quality. I know whatever you're going to say, it's going to be like you taking 10 steps back, running it, and kicking Bryce and I right in the beanbag.
Yeah, it was Song Sung Blue is the one we watched last night. So good, dude. It was so stinking good. It was about the Neil Diamond tribute band that Pearl Jam, they opened up for Pearl Jam. Dude, it was incredible. I loved it. But I'm a music guy, so of course I liked it. And
well, you know what I think of space, and I think Interstellar's great.
Yeah, right.
Like space is dumb. That movie's great.
Yeah, right. And then I watched the new one on Netflix. It's a Sally Fields movie, like Reasonably Smart Creatures or something. It was pretty good. That was one my wife wanted to see, so we watched it, and it was fine. It was just okay.
So I've now seen the Oscar winner. I'd seen it before, the movie Sinners.
Okay,
got all
see
the
that
love.
one popped up on us too, and I didn't know what it was. And I was just like, so we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't
bite.
I mean, keep in mind, I've been a fan of Michael B. Jordan going back to Friday Night Lights days. Like anyone who claims, like I saw him in Sopranos,
I didn't. No, I didn't see him in any of those things.
He was in it for like 10 seconds.
Okay,
but going back to that time period, Friday Night Lights, 20, 25 years ago, love the actor. That movie in comparison to what I watched on the plane, Marty Supreme. Okay, now I'm no Timothée Chalamet guy either.
Okay.
Those movies are light years apart from one another. Marty Supreme is really good.
And Sinners, not so much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Sinners...
it's more of a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I saw the Marty Supreme when we were... But I had no idea what it was.
If you don't like Timothée Chalamet... You'll love the movie because he is a scumbag the entire time.
I don't know that much about him. When you say don't like him, what do you mean? Just don't like him as acting?
There are people that don't like him because he's kind of he's like the newer it guy.
Okay.
But he also it's hard to like he's in the Dune movies.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good actor.
Okay.
But he's also like 110 pounds. And
well,
so,
yeah, he is a tiny dude. I do know that about him.
So when he shows up as the war hero, you're like, okay, you're built like my daughters.
Actually, they're probably in better shape.
Like, there's a part where I say physics does play into this. Like, Tug, this isn't strategy. This is hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Timothy Chalamet is just going through dudes. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, you wield a blade faster than everybody, huh? All right. But no, if you don't like him, Marty Supreme is great because he is just so unlikable the entire time.
And he's a table tennis player.
Yes, which is a weird premise to start with.
It's a tick, yeah.
But it's about him trying to get back to the level he's been at, and he is an awful person.
It's table tennis. I mean, how awful can you...
I know. But is that any more ridiculous than, hey, these people are surrounded by white vampires?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's dumb. I wouldn't even
and we're just remaking Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, I wouldn't even entertain watching
I saw the new Star Wars movie last week.
Yeah, the lowest opening in the history of Disney.
Terrible.
Is it terrible?
It's terrible.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Well,
and I liked The Mandalorian when that came out the first season.
I'd seen some people say that, but you can't ever tell what social media.
I think you have to ask fans.
That's right, yeah. But would you consider yourself a Star Wars fan?
Yeah. I mean,
okay. And he says terrible.
There's like a 15-minute stretch where there's just no talking.
Yeah,
and
okay.
It's difficult. Like, you could just tell it's very predictable. It feels like, the way I saw it, it feels like a lot of Mandalorian episodes just kind of smushed into a movie.
That's what I heard from fans. Their point was, why isn't this basically season 3 rather than you slamming it together and giving it to me as a movie?
Yeah. Well, Disney they've wrecked that franchise. I mean, even Star Wars fans aren't interested. That's why it's the lowest ever opening for a Star Wars movie, right?
It's South Park, way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Before was it Kathleen Kennedy, who then has now left the project, but she was basically running that end of Disney with Star Wars for the longest time. South Park would make fun of it by no matter what the movie was. Put a chick in it and make her gay.
Yes, that's right. It was Cartman was saying that.
It's like, we're remaking Bambi. Put a chick in it and make it gay.
That's right. See, who thought that would? Aside from the joke, who thought any of this was going to be good when they were like, hey, let's screw with everything and see if we can change it up so much that even the people that like it won't like it.
Do you remember when I told you, like 3 years ago, I said, Tug, you and I, they don't have to have this multi-million-dollar lady firm. They can hire Tug and Los marketing, and you don't even have to say a word. You just have to sit there and nod. And I said, what do we need to bring back to Bud Light?
Boobs.
That was number
laughter.
one. I said boobs and comedy. If you bring back boobs and comedy, everything will be fine. They went out and get Shane Gillis. They start adding hot chicks back to stuff. Look, boobs and comedy works every time. Let me tell you how you fix Star Wars. And this is, again, Tug E. Los marketing firm, and Tug's going to sit there and nod because he doesn't know much of anything about Star Wars, but he's going to back me on this.
I know what works.
Make the story about male Jedi Knights again. Ta-da.
Winner.
That's all you need to do. Male Jedi Knights, and boom, brand is back, baby.
Yeah. Can I tell you, it's so funny. We had, this is something, you ever notice that people who are conservatives fly the American flag in front of their home typically?
Sure.
Yeah, and if they don't, they don't. Well, we have new neighbors, a gay couple, nicest guys, super nice dudes. Had met them just walking the dogs, whatever. I noticed on Friday they had put out American flags all the way down their sidewalk. I was like, well, wait a minute. Well, that's not what I expected. I thought I was going to be the only one flying the American flag this weekend. Turns out. And we go to our cul-de-sac party.
Tug, your biases.
Yeah, well,
okay, sure.
You just don't know. You don't know. We're there talking to those guys, and bourbon drinkers. We're talking about bourbons, and I'm making fun of being self-deprecating. I don't know enough about it. I just know it tastes good, and give me that one. And they're like, well, what do you think about Megyn Kelly? And I was like, well, she's great. Why? Well, we went and saw the Megyn Kelly show. We went and saw her when she first came, when she was, and Phil Holloway opened, he kind of was the introduction with his co-hosts on the Megyn Kelly podcast, the Real Crime podcast. And they're like, I think we're in mixed company. We probably shouldn't talk about this now, but maybe later.
Oh, sweet.
We'll talk about it. And I was like, yeah, man, sure, let's go.
Do they know what you do?
No, had no idea. And I didn't bring it up. It just wasn't the time. But it was just so funny that they were so aware of the other neighbors that they had already met and knew a little better of their politics.
I'm just going to tell you, because they've probably detected sooner. Mark Levin was right. Like Megyn Kelly, I don't know what it's dollars. I don't know if it's influence. I don't know if it's subscription based.
It's dollars, man.
But it is pushed to a level where the posts, you go, wait a minute, are you in there?
Yeah.
Because that's different than 6 months ago, a year ago.
Of course, it's dollars. And I think there's, I'm not convinced Tucker, they don't have something over top, dangling over Tucker. I'm not convinced of that.
Well, if the subscription numbers are not real, then the advertising dollars that you were commanding are not going to be real.
Right.
And so now the foreign influence money becomes a much bigger factor.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that we're now looking at it where, and I don't know, I work around a guy who's told me for a long time that digital numbers are all BS.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, I think the rest of the tech world is now looking at it and saying, you want to charge what? It's like the only one who we know for sure gets those numbers because the multitude of platforms is Rogan.
Yeah, he's the only one that we can nail down and be positive of. But it was just funny to know that there's other conservatives in my neighborhood. They do exist. It's like the M&Ms. They do exist.
And they love each other.
That's right. And they're very nice fellas. When we continue on Extra 106.3, you know why the Dems lost in a landslide in 2024, but they don't. Next on Extra.
You can stream Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station while you work at extra1063.com. Get the latest from the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, and Neil Bortz, and stay connected at the office. That's xtra1063.com.
I want to tell you about the folks at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Great folks over there. You probably heard me talking about them for a long time. That's because this isn't just an advertiser for me. This is a guy that I've known for years, and Chuck, the owner of Central Heating and Air Conditioning. He's a friend of mine, and he treats you like he treats me. I've seen it in action. I've seen it happen. And when you know somebody like Chuck, you understand why Central's been around for over 75 years. Here in Atlanta, they do things the right way. And if you want to sign up for a maintenance agreement now where they come out to your house a couple times a year, make sure the AC is working properly before it gets real hot. And then later in the fall, the heating, they'll do the exact same way. When something breaks in your house, they'll already be on top of it. They'll understand the operating system that you have in the house. And it won't happen in the dead of summer or in the winter cold. They understand how the equipment actually works. You can trust that person standing in front of you in the living room because they're not there to hit some monthly quota. They are there to make a difference. They are there to provide a good service. That way you'll feel comfortable telling other people about Central Heating and Air Conditioning. And as I said, with that maintenance agreement, they're going to donate through July, Christmas in July. They're going to donate $10 from each new maintenance agreement to Skyland Trail, a great organization that is helping people with mental health issues in Atlanta. Look up Skyland Trail, great organization, just as well as the folks at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. They're Carrier dealers. You get top-of-line equipment backed by top-of-line Carrier warranties installed by people you can trust. Here's the number, 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, delivering Carrier comfort for the world we share.
When I first started using a CPAP, getting supplies and equipment was a horrible hassle. It pretty much stayed that way until I discovered CPAPs, etc.com. Same-day shipping on anything you might need, including travel CPAPs, hoses, masks, you name it. Same-day shipping. CPAPsETC.com or visit their store in Alpharetta. So easy, and you could be preserving your health and saving your life.
Spring is here, and it's time to transform your outdoor living space into a beautiful oasis. At Stovall & Company, Wholesale Landscape Supply, we have what you need to make your landscape dreams a reality.
Stovall has been supplying the landscape industry for more than 75 years.
So check us out at StovallInc.com.
Stovall has it all.
Summer is here, and hopefully vacation is on the horizon. Whether the beach or maybe you're more of a mountain person, you've planned and saved in order to take some much-needed time off. You planned your vacation. Shouldn't you plan your retirement? You planned for a week in the sun, but have you planned for decades of golden years? Master Plan Retirement works with you to create a holistic, comprehensive retirement plan in order to offer the one thing your time off needs the most: peace of mind. From income and growth, tax strategy, legacy planning, and more, Master Plan Retirement walks alongside you to help ensure your golden years stay golden. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Visit masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
It's a big year. America is marking its 250th birthday, a once-in-a-lifetime moment, not just to celebrate, but to ensure all Americans, especially our children and our grandchildren, understand what makes us so special. Here's what keeps me up at night: a well-funded effort that has been underway for decades to twist and erase our history. Tragically, it has been very successful. That's why we built the American Journey Experience, a state-of-the-art museum and research library with over 100,000 artifacts focusing on American history, from Christopher Columbus to the space race. Our mission is to educate, enlighten, inspire, empower, and activate people about the birth, the principles, and the eternal journey of this nation. This year, we're breaking ground on a larger facility and expanding nationwide, digitizing rare documents, sharing educational resources, offering speakers, hosting programs like our Summer Institute, and it can only happen because of you. America's story will be replaced or forgotten, but our goal isn't just for them to hear it. We want them to see it and touch it and experience it. I urge you, will you join us by giving $25 or more at theamericanjourneyexperience.com. Help us celebrate America. Tell her story.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's a rainy Monday, May 26th, and here are your headlines. The U.S. military carried out what officials called a self-defense strike in southern Iran on Monday morning, targeting missile launch sites and Iranian boats laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, as CENTCOM says the actions were taken to protect American forces during the ongoing ceasefire. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper is investigating what it calls an unprecedented fish kill downstream from Peachtree Creek after heavy rainfall sent polluted stormwater, untreated sewage overflow, and warmer contaminated water into the Chattahoochee River following weeks of drought conditions and low river flow. And finally, a Pebblebrook High School senior has been awarded $10,000 to a Fox Theater Scholarship after being recognized for his work in technical theater, leadership, and scenic design, with Mike Leon Martinez now set to continue his studies at the University of North Carolina School of Arts. Rainfall is expected throughout the day here around Atlanta, with a high of 80 and a low of 69. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
That's Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. My buddy Ben Burnett, who I love spending time with on Extra 106.3. We want to get into, did you read about the autopsy the supposed autopsy that the Democrat Party did on 2024?
Oh, they still don't know why they lost?
No, they don't.
It was like you wouldn't say common truths out loud.
Nuh-uh. They won't. Ben, no. They missed so many things. I want to play you a piece of audio, if we can. Let me find it for y'all. It is CNN 1. If you got it there, Jeff. Sorry to catch you on the fly here, but I want to play this and then go into some of the things that they missed. Listen.
It gets into things about spending decisions and organizing that was done by the DNC, ways to possibly improve it. But there are a lot of things in that version that are incomplete. And also, it does not touch a couple of topics that a lot of people were very interested in and thought were the reasons for this report not being out. There's nothing about Joe Biden and what happened in the debate. There's nothing about Kamala Harris getting the nomination without any kind of primary process. And also, there is nothing about the the way that voters were responding to Gaza and how the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris policies and comments about it were hitting their minds.
So a lot was missing in that report.
So we'll jump out there. So many things were missing. Like he hit just kind of the surface stuff that was missing out of the Democrats' own autopsy. And I'm not here to help the Democrats, but I couldn't help when I read it go, well, wait a minute. How about Bidenflation? How about, was any of that even a concern? Was that a discussion at all? The crazy podcasts that they wouldn't go on, and then the ones that they did go on that would only serve up softballs.
Well, you know, it reminds me of Gavin Newsom when he had Charlie Kirk on his show, and Newsom was like, "What do you think happened?" And Charlie was like, "Y'all are on the wrong side of history with boys playing in girls' sports."
The next one on my list.
And he said, and you run from the fact that you guys have printed so much money and gotten a handful of Republicans, but y'all did the lion's share of this, and that is why it's bad. And American people, if you'd tell them that, they would understand it.
Yeah.
And if you do a little bit less, they might forgive you. And Charlie Kirk told him, like,
gave him the game
truth.
plan. Yeah, gave him the game plan.
I disagree on. I want them to be a party with ideas that Republicans can go, I can get on board with that.
Right, but because good ideas are good for the country.
Correct.
Yes, I got no issue with that, but they have none.
No, and
they have zero. Like ours aren't great. Theirs are bad.
Well, it's like when the Republicans here in, I don't know, 6 months get to be the minority party in Congress.
And they're going to be.
And they're going to talk about how much money the Democrats spend and how it's so detrimental to the future of our grandchildren.
Yeah.
Screw y'all.
Dude, because y'all are
the worst.
Y'all love the Republicans. I have figured it out. The Republicans love to be in the minority. They love it.
Yeah, they're great rock throwers.
Because you can complain.
Yeah.
You can fundraise off your complaining.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was exceptional at it.
And then you do nothing. And you're responsible for nothing. It's like having a famous friend. You don't want to be the famous guy because you have to put up with all the bull crap.
The fame.
You want to be his best friend. That way you just tag along. You get to go to all the big parties. You get to hang out with all the other celebrities. You get to experience really cool stuff in life and not have any of the responsibility that the guy that's famous has. I've been told that by a million people a million times. Like, the songwriters have told me that. I don't want to be up on stage. I don't want people noticing me.
I want to make all the money.
I want to make all the money and sit at home and live a normal life. I don't want to go on the road for 185 days a year.
And eat Cheetos on my couch with Rick Jackson.
That's right. Exactly. But the Republican Party sucks. I can't stand it. The Georgia Republican Party sucks. I can't stand it.
They suck in different ways.
No, they do, but they're both bad. They both suck.
Well, you look more locally. I mean, Brian Kemp in 2022, the GOP was so mad at him, it couldn't have been it was a gift for him to go out and raise all the money and separate the autonomy between him and Trump. And maybe it works in the long term and maybe it doesn't. You know what I mean? But it certainly fared well for him here. And he's well liked. And you know, if he was on the ballot for a U.S. Senate seat,
it'd be a hands down fight. I mean, it'd be a shoo-in.
He would beat John Ossoff.
Yeah, he'd be a shoo-in.
And he might be one of the only Republicans in the country to be like, this is why I'm different than this dude.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like him, but he can definitely sell it to you.
Look, the only thing I don't like about Kemp is the
2020.
That's it. And that's what every listener of this, most listeners that call in and that's what they tell us. Like, I like his business sense. I don't like the subsidies for Hollywood and Rivian and all. I don't like that, right? But if I have to horse trade on some things.
Oh, you've come a long way, Tug.
No, but
you just said the word horse trade.
Well, but look, that's the only way to get things done, it seems. And but I'm just saying, like, I can tolerate some if everything else is good for the people of Georgia, right?
Yeah. You don't have to win all the fights
right.
the way you want to win them.
Exactly. But the 2020 election, That will always stand out to me because they lied to me.
That's a thing.
They lied to me. They lied to you. They lied to everybody. They said nothing happened, and we know something happened. You'd have to be a fool to believe something didn't happen. You are so ideologically locked into your whatever your beliefs are to pretend that nothing happened. And the crazy thing is the Democrats that say I'm crazy because I believe something happened, they got screwed a couple cycles before on the same deal.
Yeah.
Completely got screwed. And I've just learned that in the last few years. Oh, basically from the folks on the Georgia State Election Board. And then they protect each other. We're not going to let anybody find out. We're not going to let them get down to the truth. We would never do that.
We were talking off the air about I sat on the city council in Alpharetta for 4 years. So from 2018 to the end of 2021. And there's an officer who pled guilty to having crimes of children, and the tip was reported.
Oh my God.
The tip was reported from whatever the source is into the city. And dude, I sat in elected office for 4 years and see a bunch of names I know in that news article and didn't know anything. That is the government.
Yes.
That's it.
That's exactly right.
Because I'd have been like, y'all can all go because your talents don't exceed your problems.
That's exactly right.
Bye. And they knew
gross.
it.
And how gross.
And
for you to
they
just
knew
find this out. As you were sitting on the...
I've been gone for 5 years.
And it's just now coming to light, some of the things that are happening.
Yeah.
It's exactly right. That's the government. That's a government snapshot, and it doesn't matter which level it is.
That's it.
It all works the same way, and everybody's in on it.
And the people who vote are not the people who deal with all the information. And that is the thing that should scare the ever-living hell out of all of you.
That's exactly right, dude. It drives me crazy.
Because I have plenty of disagreements with the other 6 people that I did it with. None of us would have
been okay with that.
No.
Crimes against children? No. It's disgusting. It's awful. It's evil. It's demonic. It's all of that.
Shame on them, dude.
And they covered it up.
I won't say they covered it up, but I don't know that, but it sure is odd.
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah, but it tells me all I need to know.
I feel like at some point, as a guy who was responsible for hiring and firing senior level directors, the fact that would never crossed an executive session does seem a bit odd.
Yeah, that seems unusual. That something that alarming, that disturbing, that illegal.
And that's why I don't like license plate readers either.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the same people who do that,
yeah, 100%
would cover for that, or the same people running your license.
And what is it, Flock?
Yeah, I hate them too.
Oh, I know. Well, and
they waited until I was gone.
Yeah, Tim Burchett is railing on Flock. He's got a video out with Clay Fuller. I think I saw it this morning, and they were talking about this got to go. This Big Brother 1984, this got to go. I love Tim Burchett, dude. I love the guy because I think he's there for the right reason, and they're not. They don't like him because he's there for the right reason.
Yeah,
he's the disrupt. He's the salt. He's the sand in.
He's the new Thomas Massey who votes with Trump more often.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but back to the.
They'll tell him he's got to be quiet, or they're gonna we may not have an ethics investigation, but we'll find one.
Yeah, we'll figure something out, or you'll be in a fiery auto crash.
We'll find a Navy SEAL in your district too.
Yeah, right. They went on to talk about women's sports, bathrooms, pronouns, targeting of Christians. The Democrat Party despises white men. That should be part of the autopsy. Anything related to MAHA, they despise it and they fight against it, even though it's got to be good. Even if it's just bringing the discussion, hey, we super processed foods, how bad it is for you. You should probably know this. It's just like, what is bad about that? And the Democrat Party hates it because it's attached to Trump.
I know, and I don't. There is a difference when you travel around this world in what they will allow in their food, and we have been bought and paid for 1,000 times over with special interest groups. And this is, if you were just to ask who actually values the natural health of the American people over the course of the last 50 years and had to assign it to a party, I wouldn't pick us.
No, I know. All of a sudden, though, in the last 2 years, it's become us because the Democrats hate it because it's attached to Trump. They can't pull back their hatred of Donald Trump enough. And that was actually one of the things that got discussed later in that clip is you're campaigning and your message can't be we hate Trump. That's not going to win anybody over. They have kind of figured that out.
Yes.
Because that's all it was.
You got to be in favor of something.
Right, in favor of something, not just... But I don't know that they're going to... Even though they know that that's the case, they're not changing course. They're not going to change that. Give me one Democrat that's going to go, you know what? I don't agree with him. He's not a Nazi. He's not Hitler.
Besides Fetterman.
Exactly. Give me one other person besides Fetterman in the government, on the left, in the Democrat Party.
Do you think he can survive a primary?
Crazy, yes. And you know why?
Because he's out there enough?
Well, he puts himself out there enough, maybe, yes. But no, listen to this. He votes 93% with the Democrats, but has a higher favorability rating with Republicans in his state. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but that's not a primary. That's a general.
No, I know. Yeah, you said primary. So, yeah, maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I don't know. Primary, I don't know. Because they would pin him down by... because he's been supportive of Israel.
I kind of always liked Sinema for the same issues. Anybody who will defect from their party, inclusive of Republicans, I'm like, I'll pay attention to you because I want to see how it goes. I would love to see. I think Fetterman might be. Surely AIPAC will fund him to the ends of the earth, which I'm not advocating for.
No, of course not.
But that will happen. But he would be a very interesting independent candidate.
Well, no, he wouldn't, because he's going to vote 93% with the Republicans or with the Democrats. That's not interesting to me.
No, but on the macro things that you like seeing accomplished right now with the Trump administration, he is there and they are not.
He votes with the Democrats 93% of the time. How is he there? What do you mean?
I mean, foreign policy and conflicts, which will wrong, or indifferent, will be the hallmark of Trump's legacy.
Of course, yep.
He's supportive of the things that we like to see.
Yeah, the 7%.
I can deal with the fact that you hate unborn kids. I don't like it. That's not how I feel, but I'm not going to change that dude's mind.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not. But that's the thing. Like the fact that Republicans in his state like him so much and he never votes for the things that they actually agree with, just because he's willing to say Trump's not a Nazi and it's okay that...
And I think we should be bombing the hell out of Iran.
Yeah, exactly. And he just says them out loud. It drives his own party nuts to the point they hate him and want to primary him. And then Republicans are like, I know he doesn't agree with us ever, never votes with us, but he's a hell of a guy.
When we do, we're going to have an event early next month, but I think when we get closer to time, just so we can reach across the aisle and drive liberals crazy, we ought to do the same kind of thing with him. Reach out to his people.
See if he'll come.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Maybe.
To do a 500-person thing in the middle of...
Maybe. Downtown Alpharetta.
It'd be fun.
Absolutely.
Fetterman, come on. We'll be good to you.
Yeah, dude. I'd love to talk to him because I want to know.
Then we could say we've raised money for Democrats.
That's right. We can carry the flag. Yeah, see, we're bipartisan. It's great, but we know we're not. 6 o'clock hour is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we come back, TDS and a bad choice may just sink John Ossoff in November. Next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, May 26th. The Atlanta Braves were off yesterday. They open up their road trip tonight in Boston as they match up with the Red Sox. It'll be Spencer Strider on the mound. He'll be opposed by Ranger Suarez. First pitch tonight is set for 6:45. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the NBA, one half of the NBA Finals is now set as the New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers last night, beating them 130-93. They will now await the Western Conference winner as the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder are currently tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 from OKC tips off tonight at 8:30. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina. Hey, this is Los with David from Atlanta, who just purchased his new car with the Honest Car Guy. the new, fully transparent way to buy your next vehicle. David, tell us about your experience.
I had been looking for a vehicle for a couple months. The car buying process was a little challenging at first for me. I had some credit issues in the past, and I just happened to hear a familiar voice on the radio, and it happened to be the Honest Car Guy ad. I got in touch with Tom. Within 2, maybe 3 days, I had a vehicle being shipped here from Orlando, Florida. I have already recommended him to family members, several friends, and I'll purchase a car from Tom when I make my next purchase for sure.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
There's a lot riding on every digging project. You want it done and over with. And the utility companies want their underground lines untouched and intact. Georgia 811 helps connect the dots. If you're digging, submit your ticket to us at least 3 business days before the project starts. We'll notify our utility members, and they'll send locators to mark their lines at your site. Georgia 811, connecting the dots for safe digging.
Sponsored by Georgia 811.
It's May 26th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Paper Airplane Day. The simple toy has been around for thousands of years. It's believed the Chinese began making paper airplanes more than 2,000 years ago. The farthest a paper airplane has ever flown was set in February of 2011. A world record 226 feet and 10 inches.
Get up there, get up there, get up there, get up there, get up there!
Also on this date in 1967, the iconic Beatles album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, was released in the UK.
When I get older, losing my head, many years from now.
The album would be released in the U.S. on June 2nd and will be the #1 album in the U.S. for 15 weeks. If it's your birthday today, you share it with the first woman in space, American astronaut Sally Ride, born in 1951. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
The Morning Xtra, every weekday on your drive to work.
Isn't that the Democrat way, though?
Yes.
Find somebody to blame it on other than taking responsibility.
Lowest common denominator, and then attack them. Typically, it's going to be whoever they perceive to be dumb. And I tell you all the time, they look at people in the military as being dumb. You have that when it comes to people in Congress. You have that when people in terms of the media. The theater kids look at the athletes and those in the military as all being dumb.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Xtra 106.3 FM and the Xtra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Xtra 106.3. We need to beat John Ossoff, and I think maybe we've got a shot. And here's why. He's going hard. This is going to be his campaign strategy, go hard against Donald Trump. And that part kind of makes sense because that's where a lot of their voters are. But that's also why they keep losing. No ideas, just Trump derangement syndrome. Secondly, this is the key. This is the one that I think is going to sink John Ossoff in November. He said he's going to lock arms with Keisha Lance Bottoms, the one woman that allowed Atlanta to burn, and was doing so, let a child be killed. So yes, definitely lock arms with her, because that way both of you will go down in flames.
So I think you have 2 plays here. One is you're trying to play to, as we've now had it, 18% of men who view the Democrats favorably, which the other 82% of men, we look at you as ladyboys. Okay? Now that they're hoping that those ladyboys will help be the difference that carry the day with women, and that'll be their combination. This is still Georgia. And there's still men that are going to look at it. And by the way, black men that will look at Keisha Lance Bottoms and say, I'm not voting for you.
Not a chance.
I was having this discussion because you saw, of all things, in the pool bar in the Dominican. And I was explaining that when we start to receive advertising from candidates on both sides, that pretty much kind of lets us know what they're either working on or their narrative or changing their messaging. And what happened when it was Stacey Abrams? It was advertisements geared at young black men because none of them were voting for her. And it was all about, you need to take a new look at Miss Stacey. If you remember those ads, it was a woman who was preaching to a guy, which, just to start with, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, just the look.
Don't have an ad with a woman telling a man, like, woman-splaining to him.
Yeah, right.
I was like, this is the whole problem of what's going on here. And so I'm glad that John Ossoff is showing a little bit of a sliver here where you can start really attacking a guy that largely stays quiet and doesn't do much of anything.
That's exactly, which is the best way to get reelected. And being an incumbent, it's always tough to beat an incumbent. We'll see who shakes out in the primary to go up against him, but that's going to be the thing is, okay, you've locked arms with the woman who couldn't even finish her term. She had to leave. It was so bad. That's who you're going to attach your campaign to? That person?
A role that typically, if you have time remaining and you want to run for mayor again, it pretty consistently is, yeah, sure, until you have portions of Atlanta burn.
Yeah, and a child killed.
Yeah.
Dude, there is no escaping that for her. That is going to be the line of attack. And those are going to be so easy, those ads. Dude, we could make those ads up this morning and have them over to the Republican campaign, whoever they decide to use, whoever wins the primary, they'll be sitting on go. We will have written the ads for. It's so simple. And for John Ossoff, that seems like a mistake that he typically doesn't make because he doesn't. You're right. He's always in the background.
Don't try and connect to anyone.
Dude, don't be out front. Don't have a bunch of press conferences. Don't be in view. Don't be in plain view.
I was speaking to somebody off the record, and what I can just tell you is that there is a feeling that John Ossoff is going to be difficult to beat, not because of the money, but because what do you link him to?
That's right.
Because all you have is, I oppose Donald Trump.
And I'm going to fix the post office. That's it. That's what you have.
So the fact that he's attached himself to Keisha Lance Bottoms, that is a mistake.
That, of course it is.
That is an error.
When I saw that in the AJC, I was like, yes, I will. I will take that matchup every day of the week because it's so easy. It just opens him up to so many arrows and slings. Because otherwise you got nothing. You got nothing. There's nothing to complain about. Has he done anything? No. Has he done anything bad? No. Has he done anything good? No.
Well, he doesn't vote for the Trump agenda. Okay, that's going to turn out Democrats. But what is going to be the giant attack point? That he believes that men should be in women's sports? Well, I mean, he doesn't really take huge stances on much of anything.
On anything.
He is as milquetoasty Democrat as it gets.
I'm telling you. There's nothing there.
It's not like Raphael Warnock, who has dumbass comments on a regular basis all the time.
All the time. That's right. He's so easy to target. But this does give us John Ossoff. This is according to Greg Bluestein, a writer over at the AJC. John Ossoff making two big bets in his re-election campaign: run harder against Donald Trump in a state that Trump carried in 2024.
Danger.
Exactly. And lock arms with Keisha Lance Bottoms to show Democrats are unified while Republicans slog through costly runoffs.
More danger.
I would think, too. Exactly right.
Again,
and I'll give Bluestein credit. He's kind of setting it up. He's kind of setting it on the tee there. It's easy when you see the way he's laid that out. He's like, I don't even know if I don't think this is a good move. And he's a Democrat.
So my last conversation, when I'm talking about things off the record with people that represent the party, this hadn't happened yet. Now, I haven't had a chance to have another conversation, but I guarantee you as soon as I can, I'll be sending that text, making that phone call, and saying, so what's the calculus now? Because it changes. Mm-hmm. You are tying yourself as a incumbent senator that really doesn't have anything that you can point out and say, okay, it's not like John Cornyn in Texas with what's going on there, where John Cornyn, after a school shooting, went after guns in the state of Texas. What is my stance on guns, Tug, when I run? I think guns are good.
Guns are good.
Okay. Yeah. John Cornyn went after guns in the state of Texas.
Crazy.
Okay? That's dumb.
Yeah.
All right. John Ossoff doesn't have one of those huge, in-your-face categorical errors that makes him damaging to both Democrats and Republicans.
He's about to get one, though.
But this might be the one.
He's about to get one.
This might be it.
That's right. Absolutely.
Because if you can now turn it into the black male voter, which the Democrats always need, now associate those two together. Because until you show me data, otherwise they're not going to vote for Keisha Lance Bottoms. Doesn't matter how many times Killer Mike comes out and is like, vote for. Good luck with that.
I don't think anybody's voting for her, dude.
Well, she'll get the black female vote, and she'll get a large amount of liberal white females.
Yeah, but
that's who she'll get, because that's the core of the Democrat Party.
I guess you're right. I guess the core people, but I'm saying to win, you have to get a wide swath of people, and I can't imagine anybody like everyday dude just going to work, going, "Yep, I'm in for her."
That's where I believe the messaging has to be clear, and the money spent has to be pretty aggressive. Because if you tell the story, remember, 6 years is a long time ago in politics. If you tell the story of what Atlanta turned into under Keisha Lance Bottoms, and you show the images, and you show the death, and you show the carnage, then I don't think she has a snowball's chance in hell. But if the money isn't there to counter whatever they're going to talk about, oh, it's a new beginning, and well, why don't we have this? And look, we can finally have a female black governor, which you could have had in Virginia, but you decided you didn't want to do that.
Yeah, right.
The Democrats are like, no, not that female black governor.
Same kind.
Don't want to have that.
Same kind of thing happening in Tennessee with a state senator too.
That's the way that they're going to play that. And so I think the dollars and the messaging has to basically show her that she was a failed mayor, and that as long as anything touching her goes to crap, so does John Ossoff.
Look, there under that post that I was telling you about, that's the first thing that pops up is a Atlanta City police car on fire, and then a riot, and some dude standing on top of a police car, not the one that's burning, but a different one, next to it. That's what Atlanta looked like under Keisha Lance Bottoms. So who again is going to hold up there? I mean, I would actually challenge women who want to vote for Keisha Lance Bottoms. I would challenge them to explain that picture. Help me understand why you want more of that. What is it? What is it that you want more of? Because I'm not sure that's it. I'm not sure you're going to make a lot of people, or any people for that matter, go, yeah, man, give me more of that rioting and burning police cars down. That's great. That's what I'll take. It just doesn't make sense, man. So maybe a first misstep. I think, like I said, like the way we started, this may be the first misstep for Ossoff locking arms with Keisha Lance Bottoms. 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we come back after a Fox News update, the media hates you and Donald Trump, but they hate you because you like Donald Trump. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Retirement should feel exciting, not stressful. But if you're close to retirement or already there, have you ever stopped to ask, do I really understand the risks to my plan? Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Things like market swings, higher taxes, inflation, healthcare costs, even living longer than expected can slowly chip away at your savings if you're not prepared. And even solid plans can have blind spots. That's why we offer a retirement risk analysis. It looks at how your investments, income, and taxes could hold up in real life situations, not just on paper. It helps answer the big questions. What happens if the market drops? And will your money last as long as you do? If you're within 10 years of retirement or already retired, give us a call, 678-990-8500, or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a complimentary retirement risk analysis. Nicholas Wealth Management, helping you retire with clarity, confidence, and control.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
Securing America.
America's military leaders honored the service members who lost their lives in securing the country during a ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery Monday. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane said every tombstone at Arlington tells a story
of American courage, tenacity, and grit.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth said that even in war, America's troops
fought not because they hate what's in front of them, but because they love what's behind them.
Vice President J.D. Vance made this pledge.
We commit to make the United States of America the very best version of itself.
While President Trump reflected on the meaning of the day as the country's 250th anniversary approaches.
There could be no 4th of July without America's armed forces, and there could be no Independence Day without Memorial Day.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra.
Now you have the most conservative president moving in to that seat since Ronald Reagan.
Buddy, and
J.D. Vance.
They have no idea what they're up against.
Like, that's why it's all just fool's gold. It's all just silliness. It's all fundraising. You want to talk about what the next 4 years could look like as we get into 2028? That's going to be the great Satan for them, will be an actual conservative sitting in that seat.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. With daily commentary you'll hear throughout the day. And he's on live with the Morning Extra every Tuesday morning at 7:30. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3. And catch all of Neil's commentary on the Extra app. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show on WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3.
A warning from Iran's supreme leader. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Mojtaba Khamenei put out a statement that American military bases in the Middle East are no longer safe as negotiations continue.
This is, it's either going to be a good deal or there isn't going to be one.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio telling reporters on his flight to Armenia they have to reopen the Strait of Hormuz for shipping as President Trump keeps demanding Iran give up enriched uranium in a nuclear agreement. Despite the ceasefire, the U.S. did go on the attack again.
Airstrikes against southern Iran near the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM says these strikes were defensive in nature and went after mine-laying vessels along with a surface-to-air missile position. These were the first U.S. strikes that have targeted Iran since early May. A spokesperson for Iran's armed forces said any new aggression will be met with a far more severe response.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv as Israel hits Iran-backed Hezbollah militants harder in Lebanon, calling up more troops, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying in a TikTok video,
"What this requires of us now is to increase the blows, to increase the intensity. We will smite them with overwhelming force."
Lebanon state media reports 12 people were killed in a village after an Israeli strike targeting Hezbollah infrastructure. Some people have been allowed back home around Garden Grove, California, as the risk of toxic chemical explosion has subsided, though others are still evacuated near a storage tank that had dangerously overheated. There's still a threat of a leak or a fire. The polls will open in most of Texas next hour for a runoff. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton faces off against Senator John Cornyn in a primary race which has become a closely watched test of whether President Trump's backing will unseat another congressional incumbent. Cornyn and Paxton were the two top vote getters in the March 3rd primary. Cornyn was elected to the Senate in 2002, and Paxton was elected as state attorney general in 2014.
The president endorsed Paxton last week. Whoever wins will face Democrat James Tallarico in November. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever been in a really bad relationship? Kind of wears you down, right? You settle in, even though deep down this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's what daily aches and pains feel like. You stop expecting to feel good. You start thinking, maybe this is just life now. But it doesn't have to be. With Relief Factor, you can break up with pain, just like Anthony did. Anthony wrote to me, he said, "Glenn, I was dealing with debilitating pain and fatigue. I've been taking Relief Factor for about 2 months, and now I'm back to running my business, fishing, gardening, and doing all the things that actually matter to me. This is why I endorse Relief Factor. It has helped me, and I know it's helping so many in this audience live their lives to the full potential. Is it your turn? Relief Factor, 100% drug-free, targets inflammation that causes pain so you can move better, feel better, and actually enjoy life again. Try the 3-week quick start. It's $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Break up with pain and get back to what matters. relieffactor.com, 800-4RELIEF.
Search for the Extra 106.3 app wherever you download apps by searching XTRA 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
It is going to happen again, and it's going to happen for days and days and days and days and days. That's all it's going to do. So you might as well get locked in here. Keep your focus off of the rain. Keep your focus on the Morning Extra. Los is back. I'm Tug. This is Extra 106.3.
I got out of the airport, started driving back up to North Forsyth County, and as I pulled into my neighborhood, I went, everything looks really green.
Yeah, it's going to rain like hell.
And I pulled up to my own house. I was like, we're doing good here.
Dude.
Keep it going here, chat.
We were at the cookout, and I told you we went to over the weekend, just some, the ball club kids, families, everybody's home from from college. And so we're just wrapping up the cookout. It's we'll say 7, somewhere around there. We're watching the baseball game, and all of a sudden you hear boom, huge tree just comes down in the backyard.
Save that piece of audio right there.
Yeah, that's right. My sound effects are good, though. You knew exactly what it was.
I thought it was like some giant storm.
I thought we were going to get like thunder or something. It was not ready for a tree.
No, it was a tree, huge root structure underneath, because it just fell out of that Georgia clay. And then the next morning, our friends who'd also been in the cookout, who lived right in the other side of the cul-de-sac, their truck, my buddy's truck, got missed by about 1/4 of an inch. Giant, about 3 times the size of the one that fell in the neighbor's backyard. This one missed his truck by just inches, and they couldn't get out of their driveway at all. They literally had to call a company to come cut it up so they could get out of the driveway to leave.
Our old house, we had it was one of the largest trees in the back that fell across our backyard, and the only benefit to all of this was that I lived next door to a pyro, and after the county came out to cut it all up, so we didn't have to worry about it. The county's paying for it. They cut it all up, but they don't haul it away. They just leave it there. Well, Sarah got to be a pyro off of that for like 6 months. They burned that entire tree. They would just go grab a piece and go take it over to their fire pit and just start burning that again. So if you live next to a pyro and you have a tree that falls down, you're in good shape. Call the county, let them cut it up, then let your pyro friends go from there.
Yeah, that's great, man. I just had, it was nuts because I'd never had a tree fall as I'm sitting there and I could hear it and then walk out and see it. And then for the same thing to happen a little later. It's just crazy. But that's the thing with all the saturating rain.
Yeah.
Is that the root structure gets so slippery and the ground so saturated, it just,
when the wind comes in the way it does,
the wind absolutely
and just knocks
blows
it down.
it right over. Just be safe out there for sure. But Los had an amazing, he was just showing me some pictures of his trip down to the DR for his anniversary, and I'm so jealous. You probably are thinking to yourself, just like I am, man, I could really use a beach trip. Man, anything I could do to get me to the beach right now, I would do.
My wife and I were discussing the last time her and I traveled by ourselves. Now, the last time we did something that was like couples only, no kids, was 15 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
That's how long it had been. So this was the 20-year anniversary, which was a lot of fun. The amount of people. And I'll tell you, Tug, you and I are kind of the offshoots of this. We're a little bit different. I met a ton of really great people, a lot of great couples. One of the guys, he's from Jalisco, Mexico. He was hilarious. All he wanted to do was shoot Don Julio, which
my man.
I did a few times. They'd be like, F.A., F.A. And I was like calling them F.A.
Yeah,
I was like, you're all the boss. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I would do some stuff with them. One of them, my wife said, it's like, is that your daughter? He's like, no, third wife. There were so many people on like second and third marriages.
Wow.
So the fact that we were at year 20 because we met a bunch of couples and we were the ones that had been married the longest outside of one really sweet couple that had been married
by far
38 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the
awesome.
only one. Everyone else was younger in their marriage, but older than us.
Yeah.
So that was different.
You and I have done it differently, and we're very fortunate. It's what happens, I think, when you marry your best friend. You just, and I don't know that you can plan it. You know what I mean? Because how do you know?
How do you know? Some of y'all's ladies go crazy.
Right.
Some of your men go
That's
crazy.
That's right, exactly. But put in jail and things. But that I was talking about that with Laura, like, how were we so fortunate? I mean, because our relation, like her cousin and I were stationed on a Navy ship together. That's the connection. You know what I mean? So the likelihood of
it was the Garth Brooks tug.
Well, that's what got her dad hooked.
So we were sitting at the bar, again, pool bar. I highly suggest this again.
Well, pool
Hyatt Resort, and you can look it up. Secrets, that's the brand. And this was Tides in Punta Cana.
Okay,
I'm telling you, and they had all the stuff you want. The place was so new. Like sometimes you read reviews and they're like, "Man, my room never gets cool." We did not have that problem. It was like 65 in our room, like the entire time. It was awesome. So we're at the pool bar, and there's a couple who's been married for like a week and a half. They're like on their honeymoon still.
That's great.
And this older couple who's been married, I find out 8 years. So I'm looking at them going like, y'all are like 15, 20 years older than us. You've been married 8 years.
Yeah.
And they're asking like, well, you've made it to 8 years. What would you suggest? And the wife just keeps rambling and rambling and rambling and rambling to the point where like I'm on like drink number 2 and she's still going. And her husband is just like kind of tuned her out at this point.
Is anybody listening?
They get up and they go walk over to go get in the sun. And I just go, hey, I was like, I don't know what she was talking about. You really only need 2 things. They're like, yeah. And I go, find time for each other and keep laughing.
That's it, dude. That's the truth.
That was it.
That is the most valuable advice right there, for sure.
Yes, I was sitting there as like little pool Buddha.
Yeah.
I'm just here to give you
rubbing your belly, having
some
drinks.
love advice.
I love it.
I was like, find time for yourselves.
Yep.
Keep laughing.
No, that's right.
That's it. I mean, this other woman had like, and do this. And I was like, come on, lady. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, dude, keep laughing is so important. And it's my favorite thing to do to begin with. God, I love to laugh. I want to laugh until my stomach hurts, until I can't breathe, until snot's shooting out my nose. That kind of laughter. That's what and my wife makes me laugh like that.
I got a really good one out of my wife. We were having lunch, and I'm just gonna be honest, she was feeling a little frisky.
Oh, hey girl, hey now.
And she makes the comment, and I'm getting ready to say what I'm getting ready to say. Run back
to the room.
And so at lunch, she goes, hey, what do you feel like doing when we get back to the room? And as like I'm telling you, as like the last little enunciation of getting horny now. And I go, now keep in mind, I'm probably like 4 or 5 drinks in so far. I've just had a ton of like mahi and tuna because we
feeling good.
We went pescatarian for the week. We're like, okay, we're
gonna have some of this fresh fish.
We're not. They don't have tofu. Like, we got to figure it out. So we did fish.
That's good. I love it.
As soon as she's saying, "What do you want to do when we get back to the room?" I go, "I'm gonna fart and fall down." And as soon as I said that, that woman just dropped everything on the table and just started laughing. And was like, I'm married to the biggest idiot on earth.
I love him, though.
Like, hey, what do you want to do when we get back to the room? I'm going to fart and fall down.
It's the greatest answer of all time, dude. I'm going to try that one day.
And I'm a fart and fall down.
That's so great.
And so, yeah, that was
Bryce, take notes.
That was the moment of the trip where she's like, all right, I'll give you another 5 years, maybe.
We'll see
because of that one.
God, so good. All right. Traveling international, so much fun. Although, before we get to the first thing to know, because Colbert's show has come to an end, and I was going to ask you about that whole Ebola thing because you texted me about it, and we've been seeing it blow up in Africa, and Ebola, from what I've read anyway, because it's so deadly, rarely they're worried about it turning into a pandemic because anybody that comes in contact
it burns through communities quick.
Absolutely dead and over with.
It burns through communities quick. Yeah, at left untreated, it's about 90%. It's awful. But when we went,
from your eyes and things.
Oh yeah, when we went back through customs, when we were going through Department of Homeland Security and Border Patrol and Border Control, one of the questions that were on all the message boards and that they were asking if you were selected for additional screening is, have you been to Africa? And I was like, oh,
no, I've not.
That's an interesting one. Like, I get it. You are looking to catch terrorists when they're coming through. That's a huge deal with the work that those people do. But in this case, they were wondering where you've been and how are you feeling.
Yeah.
And so that's...
Do you feel like there's blood coming from your eyes? Do you feel that way?
Because if you go into... And I know she's crazy, but... You know, Lauren Loomer is right on some things.
Absolutely. She's like the National Enquirer.
Yeah.
They used to get it right occasionally, too.
She gets it typically before everyone else does. And she's been talking about the threat of Ebola in the United States. And that, hey, it's already here. We'll see. But that was being asked when we were coming back through customs yesterday.
I'm sure. And the first thing to note this morning, Stephen Colbert already got a new gig.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Xtra, Tug Los, deep in the story, breaking news successful.
Dude, we didn't even have a chance to miss Stephen Colbert.
So, I don't know if anybody saw this over the weekend. So, Colbert basically signs off, does his last show. And everybody sends him off, gives him all of his flowers.
Blah, blah.
And the dude immediately decided, I'm going to go do a public access show called Only in Monroe. Basically did another show. Now,
it's pretty smart. I'll give him credit.
Listen, I'll give you credit. You had Jack White, that was his
musical director or whatever.
Musical support, where he had like a reel-to-reel, which, I mean, looked kind of cool. And Jack White,
he's cool.
It's cool. Listen, his politics and mine don't match up.
Very different.
I still think he's really cool.
Yeah. And dude, that is smart, man. That's really smart. Because if he were to just launch a new podcast or a video, whatever, people would be like, okay, that's great. This is getting so much attention, more than it would anything else, because it's so different.
So one of the issues that they ran into was the way they tried to link it. And apparently some of the stuff, CBS as an entity was able to get most of this stuff pulled down. So like, no, we're the ones who own the rights to this stuff. It's like, you're still under contract. Like, here's what's happened. We haven't severed ties completely. You're just done.
Yeah.
And so you saw how it's played out. Now, considering what his show basically became, it was a home for leftists and let's just do leftist comedy.
Yep.
And then it became, I'm not even going to focus or think about having to be funny. Let's just push a message. And when you would see the guest list, you're like, all it was just one leftist after another.
Leftist actor.
Yeah, and that's all it turned into. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But you can't do it while losing millions of dollars. If you're making money, because everyone does, listen, the math, I mean, what do you mean they were losing $40 million? If it was making $10 million, it would still be on the air. All right, in this changing landscape that's television, I saw so many people that were bringing up what the ads are. It's like, well, that show should have been making $700 million based on the ad rates. Late night doesn't do what it used to do.
No doubt.
You have no idea the changing of the media landscape. Radio, television, digital, everything is altering. And so about the only thing that can still keep charging what it does is like the World Cup and the Super Bowl. And that's about it. Everybody else has to change. So the only reason that dude isn't on TV anymore and is having to do Welcome to Monroe was because that $40 million they were losing is probably pretty legitimate.
Yeah, well, it definitely was, dude. And apparently NPR is reporting that CBS said now Colbert can distribute Only in Monroe, the episode, on the Late Show channel. So they are able to, because they own it. Monroe community, I think that's smart on their part because it helps a little local community access. Is really smart. The one that's surprising a little bit is they let Colbert put it out on his own channel, but those are the three channels that you can officially share that stuff. CBS had to get smart.
CBS basically said, yeah, we still own this. But it really does speak to when you look at yourself as being somebody who's pushing the narrative, he's so addicted to it, he can't just go away for a little while.
Because it was only 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was the next night. Yeah.
I mean,
dude, what kind of ego do you have to have?
I just want to make the comparison. Jon Stewart went and disappeared.
I know.
As far as like a regular entity for like 15 years.
And Jon Stewart's actually funny.
And Jon Stewart then said, well, if you have me come back and do The Daily Show, I'll do it for $25 million. Comedy Central's like, hell yes.
Done.
Because Trevor Noah lost half of our audience.
Yep.
Well, Jon Stewart got it back, but still, the math is pretty fuzzy on this stuff. But Jon Stewart went and disappeared 15, 20. Now, again, he was involved in projects. Well, he would show up at different places. But he didn't have to put himself on public access the day after.
He's not so infatuated with himself. Dude, because Stephen Colbert thinks he's important.
Yes.
That's why.
He thinks he's part of the cause.
Yeah, that's right.
See,
he's the resistance.
That is one thing that Tug and I never get caught up in. Like, at no point. Now, are we friendly with certain people in politics? 100%. You get to know some people. That's how it goes. But honestly, none of that, in my opinion, largely gets to the air. I'm not sitting there talking about, hey, so we going to the Braves game this weekend? It's like that doesn't make the air. Colbert actually thinks that he's part of, I help do this for these politicians. No. Like, he thinks like he's an equal partner. I was like, Tug and I are very well aware we're not equal partners in this. We're just giving the platform for you to get to hear from them.
But that's easy trap to fall into, man.
Yes. I'm not thinking when I get a text message from a politician that I'm like, we're best friends now.
And to prove that point, take yourself out of this seat, and that changes completely. I recognize that people reach out to me to be on this show to speak to you listening right now, not because they think I'm the greatest thing since apple pie.
That's what Colbert is going to find out. That's going to be that tough moment where he's like, oh, man.
And let me tell you, it'll help keep it, because we've seen people get that ego where they're wrapped around that. Yes, these people want to come talk to me. No. That helps you keep your ego really in check when you realize that the texts stop coming in as soon as you turn the microphone off for the last time. Stephen Colbert, you'll have to learn a hard message. Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3, the talk master Neil Bortz. He's got a couple things he wants to talk about. Iran and John Ossoff. Both topics we'll get into next with Neil Bortz on Xtra 106.3.
Your favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Xtra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Xtra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.
Got a home project coming up? Don't miss the All Four Seasons Home Show, hosted by Dan Watkins of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors and Chris Lalamia of the Trusted Toolbox. Every week, they talk with experts from Atlanta's top home improvement companies, sharing tips on plumbing, roofing, landscaping, and more. This week, we have Tanya Williams, real estate and lifestyle expert on HGTV. So don't miss the All Four Seasons Home Show, Saturday mornings at 9 on Xtra 106.3.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. or listen to the podcast anywhere. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So you got into an argument. Things got heated. Then a fight broke out, and it landed you in jail. Now what? You need A Second Chance Bail Bonds. They can get you or your loved one out of jail quickly, in most cases, in a few hours. So make the right call. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2026 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. More than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4 or the 2026 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right-sized SUV for all the adventures ahead with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Monday, May 26th, and here are your headlines. The U.S. military carried out what officials called self-defense strikes in southern Iran on Monday, targeting missile launch sites and Iranian boats lying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, as CENTCOM said the actions were taken to protect American forces during the ongoing ceasefire. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper is investigating what it calls unprecedented fish kill downstream from Peachtree Creek after heavy rainfall sent polluted stormwater, untreated sewage overflow, and warmer contaminated water into the Chattahoochee River following weeks of drought conditions and low river flow after heavy rain this past weekend. And finally, a Pebblebrook High School senior has been awarded a $10,000 Fox Theater Scholarship after being recognized for his work in technical theater, leadership, and scenic design, with Mike Leon Martinez set to continue his studies at the University of North Carolina School of Arts. Rainfall is expected throughout the day here and around Atlanta, with a high of 80 and a low of 69. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
The one and only Neil Boris, the talk master. The only place you can hear him on the radio in Atlanta is Extra 106.3. And I appreciate you getting up early, Neil Boris. I know you're out and about, so the fact that you took time to spend with us means a whole lot to us. Thank you.
Early?
Early? Is it late? Have I got it backwards?
No, do you think this is early?
Well, I thought your emails...
It's not even 4:30 in the morning where I am.
Well, yeah, that's what that sounds early. Am I wrong? You correct me.
I am west of the Continental Divide.
Okay, all right.
You know what that means?
Yes, yeah, that you're up real early.
That means if my dog went outside and peed, it would end up in Baja California, the Gulf of Baja California.
Yes, sir.
If I had a dog.
What, was this obviously a planned trip, but you didn't share any info? You never told us that you were going to be on the road, and then all of a sudden it was
I don't know. I'll tell you this. I don't know when I'm coming home.
Is it that nice?
Oh, we're Dawn and I sit around talking about where are we going to go next? Where are we going to go next?
I'm just jealous because Los just got back from the DR. You're in a really nice place, sounds like.
Some of the excitement, okay, driving this monster through a hailstorm the other day.
Did you drive the bus?
That happened in West Texas. What'd you say?
You drove the bus?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know. Because Los flew to the DR. I didn't know if you...
Well, I can't drive the bus to the DR.
Well, yeah, of course.
My man can go to California or thereabouts.
Well, I felt like it was... I felt like you were in some maybe more remote place. I guess my mind's just racing, and it's not.
Trust me, some of the places.
Yes,
some of the places we get are remote.
See, I don't think I sound that crazy, but we're just glad that you took the time.
Well, okay, some of the things that are bothering me after listening to you two.
Well, let me tell you, I've got a list.
It should be a lot. Hold on,
we got a list.
Let me get this thing out here.
Go ahead.
You actually think there's a chance that John Ossoff is going to lose?
No, Neil, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
So laughable.
That's not what I said. I said if we're going to beat him, if we're going to beat him, locking arms with Keisha Lance Bottoms is the in. Neil's not even buying that.
It provides at least an attack opportunity, which beforehand, Neil, my point on this, and this is what I've talked to with some people in the know, because he doesn't really create much of a stir, he doesn't really have a vote where you can circle it and say, wow, that was really damaging. And because he pretty much just votes and doesn't say a word, doesn't show up on network television, it's a hard target to hit.
He's a Democrat.
Yes.
Georgia is going blue.
Oh, God.
At least in that perspective, it's been blue. We have two Democrat senators.
Keisha Lance Bottoms.
You think she's going to win, too?
I think she has a chance.
Oh, my
Georgia.
God. Neil Boards. Neil.
Now that's the one I'm going to tell you. She ain't got no chance.
What are you drinking, Neil? You've been drinking that water that's bad for us, probably give you diarrhea.
You got Raphael Warnock, John Ossoff, and you don't think there's a chance that a former Atlanta mayor can be the next governor?
I would say that if we don't have the most statistically impossible election in 2020, that maybe we don't have two Democrat senators. And if she doesn't get the benefit of that in 2026, I think that we would be looking at a very similar problems. She has more problems than Stacey Abrams did.
Well, I mean,
based on her mayorship of the city of Atlanta.
Stacey Abrams, a gallon of trizepatide a month couldn't help her. You know, guys, there ain't enough flour.
Yeah. And we can leave it right there.
There's no need to continue on this conversation. But we can say that that Keisha, with all her baggage, letting the city burn down, not finishing her term, letting a child be killed, I mean, I don't know how you overcome those, Neil. I mean, I'm just being frank. I don't know how you overcome those.
How do you overcome it in Georgia? You got two things going for you. You're black, you're a Democrat. What else do you need to overcome almost anything in Georgia?
There is a large trend right now, and we've seen this nationally. We saw this also as of several years ago when Stacey Abrams was running against Brian Kemp. The biggest problem that they have right now in the country is black men are not voting for black women. And that's the problematic factor when we had the Kemp-Abrams matchup again, and the advertising that we received from the Stacey Abrams campaign was basically a woman telling a young black man how she has to take another, or how he has to take another look at Miss Stacey and consider her accomplishments. That's when I knew they were in massive trouble going into that election.
What accomplishments?
Yeah, and that was the funny part. It was she was able to raise money for this, and at the end of it, Neil, it was, and this is what turns off men, at least younger men, or at least some men, that you had a woman preaching to them in an ad, basically woman-splaining to them about their vote, which is exactly what Kamala Harris was trying to do. That's what Barack Obama was trying to do. That is a problem right now for the black male voter, for them to vote for black women. That's been going across the country for the last 4 to 6 years.
Well, that's one of the real problems with this country right now, is that you are expected to cast a vote based on skin color instead of ability, ideas, whatever. Skin color. If you're black, you have to vote for black. If you don't, you're not really black.
Which is a ridiculous premise to start with.
Well, it is a ridiculous
Absolutely.
premise, and it's brought us to where? Oh, yeah, here. Now, by the way, guess the state, guys, okay? Guess the state. We have 2 Democrats competing for a congressional seat, and one of their biggest campaign things, mentioned in almost every appearance, they want to make sure that government can seize property from private citizens and use it to pay for men who dress up as women to read stories to kids in government schools.
Please tell me New York.
No.
I mean, I bet you're talking about Democrats. I mean,
Washington.
You're narrowing it to like half the states in the country.
Oh, it's California.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Usual
can
suspects.
you imagine? Now, these are Democrats. They say, in our philosophy, it is okay to use. Now, always remember this, guys. Every once in a while, you ought to remind your wonderful listeners out there, there is only one entity in the United States that can use deadly force to accomplish whatever goal it may set for itself, and that is government. Once government sets a course, makes a decision, it can use deadly force to achieve it. Now, under the wonderful world of Democrats believe that what do you call them? These weird women, drag queens.
Oh.
They believe they're not women. Oh, excuse me. They believe that drag queens should read stories to school children in compulsory attendance government schools. Okay? And in order to bring that about, Democrats are willing to use the police power of government to seize money from people who might want to spend that money on something else, maybe medical care, maybe a vacation, maybe to pay down their home loan, maybe repairs for their car, for something that might want that money for something else. Take that money from these people by force and pay it to men who dress up as women to read stories to school children.
I'll give you another example, Neil. And Neil Bortz joins us, the Talkmaster, right here on the Morning Extra. So I was watching a podcast. I was catching like a clip of it, one of those 90-second clips that somebody will do as a promo. And there was a clear trans woman, clearly was formerly a man, is a man, trans woman. And when asked about the amount of care they had gotten. They're like, well, how much did those breasts cost you? Because he clearly had fake breasts. So I didn't pay for them. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like state of Colorado did.
Oh, good.
And all of the treatment this person had, the state of Colorado, the taxpayer, had been paying for that. So in certain states in this country, just as you're talking about in California, where you have people that are fighting for this, they're basically telling the taxpayer, we're going to seize money from you so that this person over here can get fake knockers so they feel better about themselves.
Remember, seize money from you at the point of a gun.
Yes. And by the way, not this young woman has dealt with breast cancer, so this is what we're providing her. No. This is a man who believes they're a woman that you're buying boobs for them in the interest of care.
In the minds of Democrats and a lot of Republicans, I have long championed the idea of politicians should stand up and say, yes, we're going to take this money from you. We're going to spend it on this program. But I honestly believe, and I will sign a pledge that tells you, I believe it is more important we have this money that you earned to spend on this program than it is for you to keep that money and spend it on what you believe to be best for yourself and your family. I actually had a bill introduced like that in the Georgia legislature. It went to a hearing. How far do you think it went past that hearing?
Not very.
Yeah. These guys aren't going to stand up and say that, and they're not going to say it because we don't demand it of them.
Right. We're just having the courage of your conviction, saying, hey, I'm going to take this money, and here's what I'm spending it on.
We don't confront them at a town hall and say, now, Representative Sternfalter, you recently voted in favor of a bill that spends blah, blah, blah on gay rights or on Drag Queen Story Hour. I could have used that money to pay some medical bills. Tell me why it was more important for you to have that money to spend on I just can't even throw the word out there, Drag Queen Story Hour, than it was for me to have that money to pay for my child's cancer treatments. Tell me that right now, Mr. Congressman, Mr. Representative. We don't have people that will confront them like that. It's disgusting how we allow these government agents to walk into our homes, to walk into our bank accounts, say, give me that money. I have something better to spend it on than you could ever have in terms of your family.
I don't think anybody hates taxes as much as I do, Neil, so I would go to the town hall with you and just raise hell.
Can I give you a ray of sunshine here?
Oh, yes.
At 4:30 in the morning?
That's right. Ray of sunshine.
Ray of sunshine for us anyway.
For the Talkmaster. So, was in the Dominican Republic. Wife and I celebrating our 20th anniversary. Met some young people, these people that were in their 20s. And when we started talking about politics, this one person in particular, we started talking about taxation in the state of Georgia because they were from the state of Georgia. And the more she was describing what she thought was the best idea, I was like, well, you're talking about the fair tax. And her face lit up like, oh, you know about it too. And I was like, Neil, I'm telling you, this does resonate with some people that are plugged in with stuff.
Of course
yes, sir.
It does. So you went to the DR for honeymoon?
Went to, we went to Jamaica for our honeymoon 20 years ago, and we'd been to the Dominican Republic, but we went back for the first time in 15 years and spent the last 5 days there.
Yeah, Don and I went to Hawaii.
Oh, very nice.
That is. I've never been there. I always wanted to go.
I live there, so that's
makes it easier.
But now just remember this: the Hawaiians hate our guts.
Yeah. Where the Dominicans, okay, so
they at least appreciate you.
This was funny. So I was talking to a lot of the bartenders, a lot of the wait staff, and the way they look at it, the difference in a Biden versus Trump administration was that because we're not dealing, now granted, we're dealing with higher gas prices as of right now, but this is a momentary deal. The difference in 9% inflation under Joe Biden versus when we've been at 2.5%, 3% under Donald Trump, they flat out told me more Americans have been down here in the last couple of years than we saw in the previous several years. Yeah. And that was just a very simple way for the Dominicans. The Dominicans are like, clearly your economy is doing better under this guy because we didn't see as many Americans when you had the previous president.
So here, by the way, you hear about the mayor of Minneapolis, who I don't even want to name.
Yeah.
What he said about Memorial Day.
Oh. What a jerk. Did you happen to see Joey Jones' response to that mayor?
No.
Look it up. It's not anything I can read.
Joey Jones from Fox News, let him have it.
And he's a fine man from Northwest Georgia, too. I'd like to point that out. But just when you have a second, look it up, because I can't read it on the air. But Joey's really, really measured and calculated and says things, he's just a smart guy, and he thinks things through. He just let Mayor Fry have it.
I mean, we have a day to honor the men and the women who have, in our armed services, have given up their lives, have died in protecting America. And this preface, I can't think of a better thing to call him. Look it up. You have. I know you've already looked up that
Yes, sir,
word.
we have.
The mayor of Minneapolis. Today we honor George Floyd, who was murdered on Memorial Day. We honor this thug. The only thing he lacked was apostrophes in his name. It should have been GEO apostrophe GEF apostrophe LOYD. I mean, that's how it's done today. This thug, this menace, this drug addict who died of a fentanyl overdose, people, on Memorial Day, and we honor him on Memorial Day, according to the mayor of Minneapolis. God, that's just so disgusting.
Yeah. And can I give you the flip of that? There was a great story. Woman by the name of Cheryl Ann.
By the way, what is Joe's last name?
Joey Jones.
Oh, yes, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, Joey Jones.
Johnny Joey Jones, I think it may be spelled out altogether, okay. But that when you look him up. Woman says, named Cheryl Ann, maybe a long shot, but if anybody happens to be in D.C. this weekend or plans on visiting Arlington, I would love to see a fresh photo of my husband's grave, Section 60, gave his name and all that. And it was Tulsi Gabbard that saw that tweet. And she said, it was my honor to visit your husband's grave today on your behalf and to pay my respects. And there's a picture of her.
Isn't that nice?
Dude, that made my entire weekend that Tulsi Gabbard took a moment to answer that woman's request on Memorial Day. It was just beautiful. It's what it's supposed to be, the exact opposite of what Mayor Fry did.
I can't agree with her and everything. I don't.
No, sure. You don't have to.
On
but
everything,
that's awesome.
She's class. She always was.
She is. Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, and then there's Tom Steyer running for governor of California.
Where do I begin?
He says that tranny is that a slur?
Yeah, but listen.
Whatever. Well, what the hell? It's 4:30 in the morning.
That's right. Nope.
He said that trans must play in sports.
Yes.
With the other girls or the girls, because if they don't, it will worsen their emotional and mental health struggles, and they may commit suicide. They're already up to the eyebrows in emotional and mental health struggles by being trans. They're committing suicide because they're trans, not because they can't play volleyball with girls.
That number, and I think that's an important factor, Neil, that it doesn't matter if they get to play, it doesn't affect the number overall, and that when you start talking about the mood-altering, the sex-altering drugs, everything else that goes along with it, that still, by the European study, doesn't change the impact of suicide on that group. I mean, the only thing that does is mental health,
They were mentally ill to begin with.
Yes.
I will never forget going to lunch on Cheshire Bridge. I think it was Cheshire Bridge. There was a Mexican restaurant on Cheshire Bridge, and our server, oh boy, our server at that lunch, this is how you remember a lunch, had the most bodacious fun bags you've ever seen, and they were they were hairier than any male wrestler's back.
Oh, no.
Oof.
It was some guy. What? And I don't know. It was hard to hold a taco down.
I guess so.
But I tipped him. I tipped him anyway. Oh God, that was just disgusting. And I mean, look, man, if you're going to do this, could you at least put some nair on those things?
The answer was no. Sorry about your
Okay,
luck.
guys, Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance?
Gosh, man, I think J.D. Vance is the heir apparent, but I understand why people say Marco.
Yeah, and from having these discussions with other people, I think everybody realizes that Marco is a very tough one, but you are talking about the precedent of having a president who is a two-time president, and normally the VP steps into that role, but you'd obviously not do that if that's the direction.
What has J.D. Vance done to make himself look better than Marco Rubio?
And well, I think that's a challenge. When you're the vice president, your role is nowhere near as important as the 4 or 5 jobs that Marco Rubio has held under this administration during this time period.
Well,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, Marco's done more.
That's exactly right.
Marco's done more stuff.
I think Marco Rubio would make an amazing. I don't agree with everything, but yeah, I think he'd make an amazing president.
Yeah, you don't have to. But do you expect that Marco's going to jump ahead of Vance? Because I don't.
No, I don't think he's going to make a move to do that. I would like to see it done by acclamation.
Yeah,
I would like to see the public influence, the mood of the republic bring about that change. I'm sorry, J.D. Vance just hasn't impressed me yet.
Okay, I mean, he's been. The thing I think I like about J.D. Vance is he's the yin to Trump's yang. Remember, he didn't want Trump to go after
Trump's what?
Well, I was just saying he's the balance.
God,
he's the yin and the yang. You know what I mean? He's the balance.
Okay, yeah,
well,
right, okay.
You're trying to make it filthy. It's not.
No,
God. But I just mean
it is to me.
It is on a Tuesday.
I don't know why you got to call him his wang.
Yeah. But no, I'm just saying he's the balance to Trump because he didn't want Trump to go after the Houthis in the Red Sea. He's like, let the Europeans do that. That's their backyard. He was opposed to Iran and the strike there. And so I think being able to be the opposition, a healthy opposition, is a good thing.
Well, okay, let's get to Iran.
All right, final thought.
I'm getting disgusted with Trump on that. Well, we have a deal. There's a deal coming. It's going to be a great deal. It's going to be one of the best. Like hell, he has a deal. He has nothing. Iran is playing him like a fiddle right now while this so-called ceasefire, goes on and on. They're arming, they're strengthening. They're going to end up winning this conflict. It's going to be all over. We're going to have a new president down the road, maybe a Democrat, who wouldn't swat a fly, a Palestinian fly, whatever. And it's going to be because Trump started listening to the leftist media and caving in. We should be in the process of destroying Iran, destroying the infrastructure of Iran, doing whatever we need to do to get the people of Iran to finally say, I don't care how many of us they murder, we're going to step forward and do something about getting rid of this mad, weirdo regime we have here. When this is over, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be it's going to be shut down. Iran's going to be collecting tolls. They're going to keep their enriched uranium. They're going to continue enriching uranium. And so, in some day down the road, because right now Trump will not follow through because the media scared him, the left scared him. Somewhere down the road, there's going to be a mushroom crowd over Tel Aviv, and it's going to be thanks in part to Trump's inaction right now.
So for me, I think Donald Trump is in this holding pattern. So he knows that the war is, strogging on a little bit, is lagging on, but he doesn't want to destroy all the bridges and the oil infrastructure knowing. Now, I believe if
Why
you're
not?
going...
That's what you do in a war.
I agree. I think he should be doing those things too. But I don't think he wants to do it because he knows of how long that is going to take to rebuild. And those people are going to suffer underneath what they are left with.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and then you
make sure they don't suffer while the mushroom cloud appears above Tel Aviv.
I'm not saying that it's a good decision. I'm telling you what I think he's thinking. That and the Saudis don't want to do this. All of a sudden, the Saudis are making a ton of money on the oil market, and I don't think they want it to come to an end.
That may be so.
And you're seeing them be wishy-washy. This
is a rabid regime. It's like you have rabid dogs breeding, and they're threatening the neighborhoods. Let's just hold off a bit. Let's just hold off a bit dealing with these rabid dogs. Maybe we can find some way to calm them down. The hell we can.
And I don't know who's in charge. That's the problem. Who are you making a deal with? It's impossible to make a deal with when you don't know who's in charge. I think they have people that are more centrist-minded that are not part of the IRGC.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, the IRGC's in charge, no doubt.
They are in charge.
As long as we're talking about Marco Rubio, he's the one who keeps saying, hey, it's going to take a few more days.
A few more days?
That's what he told us as of the Fox News update, even in the last, hour.
A few more days, 4 months or 3 months ago?
That's what he's pointing out. I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about what Marco's getting done, he's part of this thing too, Neil.
Well, we've got the forces over there, and no other country is going to make sure that the threat that is Iran and those, what are they, Sunni? I don't know. And those mad Muslims in Iran, no other country is capable of making sure that threat is removed. And we're dragging our feet doing it. Finally, we have a president who followed through on these promises, from Biden, from Clinton, from Hillary, from all of them. Followed through on these promises that Iran is not going to be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. We had a president that was following through on that, and then all of a sudden, the pressure was gone, and the brakes were applied, and here we sit.
So you think, just so we're clear, you think they should, every bit of infrastructure that should be blown away and just be done with it? Because
enough, not every bit, enough.
But
to
what's
show
enough?
That we are serious and we are going to carry this out to the end, and that they get to decide what the end is going to be.
How many bridges is enough? How much oil infrastructure is enough? How many
bridges
of the power
do
grid?
they have?
I assume a lot.
You sound like these people that
I just want to know.
Go after Sheriff Grady Judd down in Florida. You shot that poor guy 60 times.
I just want to know what are the links?
I just believe that for a society that's built on apocalypse, because that's what they believe brings forth the 12th Iman.
Yeah, give them what they want.
Giving it to them is going to actually play right into what they preach. It almost hardens them into, look, we told you it was going to happen.
They believe it to their souls.
It's a weird dynamic to deal with.
Without a doubt.
Some morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to hear that our cruise missiles have been launched and the airplanes the jet fighters and the bombers are in the air, and we're taking care of this damn business finally.
We just hit all their vessels overnight trying to lay mines and a bunch of missile sites. But we're not ending a ceasefire.
There you go. That's right.
Let's face it. What have we learned today, ladies and gentlemen? Neil Bortz is not a nice guy.
But we love you anyway. And we love having y'all, Neil.
And 20-year-old women are talking about the fair tax and pools in the Dominican Republic, Neil.
That's a good thing.
Oh, that is.
Neil Bortz is the talk master here on Xtra 106.3. Thank you, Neil.
Guess what I'm doing right now?
I don't know what.
Going right back. By God.
Go to bed. Go to bed.
Yeah.
If the
clearly, I'm not awake yet.
If the left was just making... if the left was just more comfortable with all that power, they could win. Next on Xtra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, May 26th. The Atlanta Braves were off yesterday. They open up their road trip tonight in Boston as they match up with the Red Sox. It'll be Spencer Strider on the mound. He'll be opposed by Ranger Suarez. First pitch tonight is set for 6:45. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the NBA, one half of the NBA Finals is now set as the New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers last night, beating them 130-93. They will now await the Western Conference winner as the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder are currently tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 from OKC tips off tonight at 8:30. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
For more local sports, head over to The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. And for the latest political news and talk, stick with Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Your yard, it stresses you out between the watering, the seeding, the weeding, and mowing. And no matter what you do, you're never satisfied. Have you thought about artificial turf? It's low maintenance, it's pet friendly, and it looks amazing all year round. Those in the know use ATL Turf Go. ATL Turf Go is Atlanta's top choice for artificial grass installation. Let them build you a backyard of your dreams with a custom golf or putting green, outdoor kitchen or pool deck. They even specialize in custom concrete and stonework. They handle everything from design and grading to construction and drainage solutions. So whether it's residential lawns or recreational sports fields, ATL Turf Go can build you a stress-free space you'll love. So say goodbye to mowing, maintenance, and your wasted weekends. Learn more and schedule your free in-home consultation today. Call ATL Turf Go, 678-403-2339. That's 678-403-2339. Or visit atlturfco.com.
When Atlanta drivers want strength, capability, and comfort in one place, they head to Jim Ellis Buick GMC.
That's because Buick and GMC deliver everything from refined luxury to serious professional-grade performance, and Jim Ellis Buick GMC makes the buying experience quick, easy, and transparent.
Whether you're looking for a rugged GMC Sierra, a versatile Acadia, or a refined Buick Enclave, you'll find a huge selection in stock right now.
And just like every Jim Ellis dealership, you can shop your way. Start online, value your trade, schedule a test drive, even handle paperwork from home.
Or stop by and experience the no-pressure, straightforward approach Jim Ellis is known for.
Find your new Buick GMC at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person for a VIP shopping experience designed around your needs.
2 convenient locations to serve you. In Chamblee on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter, or up Highway 20 in Buford near the Mall of Georgia.
Jim Ellis Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
From west of the Continental Divide, in the divided country, it's your pal Neil Bortz with another pithy commentary. Where is all the political anger coming from? And I'm talking about the anger, the hatred, the rage from the left toward Donald Trump or anybody with a conservative viewpoint, especially, I'm so sorry to say, women with blue hair. What in the world are they so mad at? Is it the whole thing with immigrants, illegal aliens being sent back to their home countries? Barack Obama promised that. Hillary Clinton promised that if she became president, God help us. Bill Clinton promised that. Why is everybody so mad? Why? Because it's being done finally by a Republican. Not just any Republican, but a Republican that beat Hillary Clinton and the appointed presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. Here's something else to consider. Meritocracy. Oh my goodness, how the left hates meritocracy. These people will straight up tell you that people should not have to work for a living. They ought to have a living wage guaranteed by the government. And if they do work and they make too much money, they should be taxed extra because they're so successful. As that little left-wing charitable girl I encountered a few decades ago on my radio show in Atlanta, everybody ought to have an equal amount of stuff. She's probably in her 30s now. I wonder if she still agrees with that. If she does, I'm hoping she gives away a lot of her stuff that other people don't have so that the thing can be equaled out. It's rather fun watching the left get so mad at Donald Trump. It would be more fun if it wasn't so dangerous for our country politically. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey, Atlanta, the Summer Starts Here sales event is now going on through June 1st, Marietta Toyota. If you want a smart new Toyota with a payment that makes sense, start with the 2026 Toyota Corolla. And a vehicle that people choose for reliability, efficiency, and long-term value. Perfect for daily driving and commuting. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty, unlimited time, and unlimited mileage for as long as you own it. And we're voted Best of Cobb for 2026, Best New Car Dealership, and Best Service Center. Well-qualified buyers, 4.99% APR for 72 months is available on the new 2026 Corolla. Visit us on Cobb Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium. Marietta Toyota, since 1975. We've been here and will be here for you.
4.99% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers are qualified. Offer ends 6/1/26. See dealer for details. All purchases exclude tax, tag, title, and include dealer fee of $699.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
The polls are just opening now in most of Texas. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, where Republican Senator John Cornyn's job is on the line in a runoff against Trump-backed GOP challenger Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General, who tells Fox,
what has John accomplished that's good for the state of Texas or the country? And you know what? No one's ever had an answer.
The president endorsed Paxton last week, but Cornyn tells Fox Digital,
were he to be the nominee and be exposed to general election voters, especially independents, I think it's going to be a very rocky time.
The winner will face Democratic State Rep James Tallarico in the general election. Democrats have not won a statewide race in Texas since 1994, although this race is among the handful that could determine if Republicans are able to hold on to their majority.
That's Fox's Alex Hogan. The American military's gone on the attack again in Iran.
U.S. Central Command says these were self-defense strikes in southern Iran, targeting missile launch sites and boats placing mines in the Strait of Hormuz. 4 people are reported killed on the boats. A senior U.S. official tells Fox the strikes are over for now, and the declared ceasefire with Iran is still in effect.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. The talks continue trying to work out an end to the conflict and get shipping moving again through the Strait of Hormuz. Fox's Jeff Paul reports from Dubai.
Gulf Arab states remain hopeful that a deal can get done. We know that a delegation from Iran has recently traveled to Qatar to continue on with those diplomatic relations. But within Iran itself, officials there say that these talks with the U.S. are proving a little difficult.
An Iran supreme leader warned today the U.S. military bases in the region are no longer safe. Thousands of people are back home in Garden Grove, California, south of L.A., with the threat of a massive toxic chemical disaster ruled out, but thousands more still evacuated because an overheated storage tank in question remains a concern. Acting Orange County and interim Orange County Fire Chief T.J. McGovern says,
we still do have some additional threats, an explosion, a leak, but we're actively working on those.
America's listening to Fox News.
You ever been in a really bad relationship? Kind of wears you down, right? You settle in even though deep down this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's what daily aches and pains feel like. You stop expecting to feel good. You start thinking, maybe this is just life now. But it doesn't have to be. With Relief Factor, you can break up with pain, just like Anthony did. Anthony wrote to me, he said, Glenn, I was dealing with debilitating pain and fatigue. I've been taking Relief Factor for about 2 months, and now I'm back to running my business, fishing, gardening, and doing all the things that actually matter to me. This is why I endorse Relief Factor. It has helped me, and I know it's helping so many in this audience live their lives to the full potential. Is it your turn? Relief Factor, 100% drug-free, targets inflammation that causes pain so you can move better, feel better, and actually enjoy life again. Try the 3-week quick start. It's $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Break up with pain and get back to what matters. ReliefFactor.com, 800-4RELIEF.
Does your friend listen to an old station whose news gives them the blues? Set your friend right. Tell him to download the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los of 10 on Extra 106.3. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. Anything that you may have missed so far in the first 2 hours of the show, be right there for you. So easy, so simple. And, of course, free. That's the biggest part, right? Is that we have sponsors on the station that we ask you to give them the first shot to earn your business anytime you need whatever the service or the good is that they offer. Give them the first chance to earn your business, and that's how the content remains free. There's no, otherwise you'd be paying for it. And we don't want to do that. We don't charge anything. We're just glad that you're here. We're grateful you're here. Los is back after spending some time down at the Dominican. I'm so jealous. He told me about the place that they went, and I just looked it up, and dude, it looks amazing. And I'm dying to get to the beach, man. I just need to get to the beach so bad.
Now we have to actually plan out how we're going to do this and get it covered as like a show trip or something along these lines.
That's right. Well, we definitely need to do a show from Punta Cana.
Like, listen,
no doubt.
You just bring us in. It'll be a morning promo.
Yeah.
And the nice part is they're still in the Eastern time zone.
Oh, wow. So it lines up perfectly.
Yeah. So we would do 6 to 10.
I didn't think of that.
Breakfast would start at 7. We would be able to just, figure that out. And then the pool bars open up at 10 a.m.
See?
Right
as we got off work.
Yeah.
You think we could swing in the next couple of weeks so we could go straight into the UFC?
Yeah, between that and then us reaching out to Dr. Rich McCormick's office about, hey, listen,
we need
to get in there for $250.
Yeah, come on. If you could just have it.
Did you see the leak of what the kind of
fight
setup
card
is for it? No.
No.
The actual, there's somebody leaked it on accident of kind of what at least I think it was real, but it looks like it's going to be pretty sick.
I think it's going to be incredible.
Well, what did it say? What are
we talking like?
So it's like like how the setup's going to be on the White House lawn. So,
okay,
sorry.
Okay, got it. Not the card necessarily.
No.
But like here's the design, here's
Correct.
the layout.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, which is awesome, dude. And I mean, anytime you get a little peek behind the curtain, it's always good, always fun. Holy cow. Yeah, so let's start working on all this stuff right away. Let's get this done as quickly as we possibly can. And then that way we can take the show on the road. It'd be the Morning Extra Road Show is what we'd be doing. And taking you right along with us everywhere we go. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms.
I mean, if we could deliver a room block and say, listen, we're going to bring like 20 people with us.
How many people would sign up for that, do you think? Do you think we got 20 people that would sign up? Because that'd be...
I'm just saying, it's pretty awesome.
I bet we'd get Stephanie to commit. Good listener, Stephanie.
Just tell her, like, hey, you're getting kids out of the house.
That's right.
Now, they're paying for college. So, although they've gotten scholarships for what they're doing. So,
and it's head down to Alabama, if I remember. Yeah. Well, and she's a Georgia fan, so I know that has to... It's tough. It's a rocking a hard place a little bit.
Listen, if they are taking care of that education,
if you give a little bit.
Give a little bit.
I know. I'm with you. I would be the same way.
Listen, you can name whatever school that I consider some sort of rival, and if they were the primary recruiter of my daughter, I'd be like,
new fan.
Well, War Eagle, huh?
Hey. War Eagle. Hey. That's what we doing.
I was like, the parchment on the wall does say University of Alabama. I'd be like, War Eagle, everybody.
That's right. It's so good. And so much
Tug would be over here. He's like, sting him.
Exactly. If Jacob were to end up, So I don't expect that's ever going to happen, so I won't have to run into it. But if it were to, I certainly would. I'd change allegiances real quick. 8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Let's get to the first thing to know this morning.
They want you awake, informed, and ready to fight for the facts of the day in the land of the free. Now your sleepyhead nation needs your wake-up call. A mighty dose of reality coming in strong. Soon as the sun cracks the horizon so high. Man, we got the story, no time for a lie.
I can't stand your son.
Put a boot in your
well, we have our answer, by the way. Stephanie, who's by the channel, just said
Bama's giving us money.
So roll tide. Yeah, I'm with you, Stephanie. No. I'd be saying the exact same thing.
100%.
Doesn't matter what university. If my daughter was ever, I wouldn't consider going there. I'm like, baby.
Yes, you would.
That's a full ride.
Yes, you would.
You're heading over to X.
Pay some attention.
This is what we're doing.
Pay
All
attention.
right, let's talk about, and these are under the guise of kitchen table issues. And the way I wrote about it in the show notes, if you're around, let's say, a 22-year-old female Ivy League grad, and you start having conversations about what kitchen table issues are, it's going to be different. Just in the same way that if I'm around my 70-year-old parents, their concerns are going to be different. Now, they both retired. They're from a different time period, pensions and et cetera and everything else. But, they're cognizant of what they're spending and what they're doing. That's kitchen table issues.
Yeah,
cost of living is very important to them. When you are a Gen X parent and our concerns are about the cost of education, how some of that is going to be coming down. We'll talk about that at some point probably this week.
It's definitely going to be coming down.
Cost of education is coming down, people. And it all goes back to the housing crisis, I believe. But so, we have that to go along with cost of living, to go along with the rise in AI of, what kind of jobs are going to be there for our children as they get out of education? Is the trades, are we not pushing enough of that? So those are kitchen table issues in my mind. Well, then there's Eugene Daniels. And all I'm going to point out is that if MS Now is going to use Eugene Daniels to talk about kitchen table issues, maybe they shouldn't go to a man who dresses like my trendy aunt. Okay? Who, let's just point it out, him and I sexually, we're not on the same page, but we're supposed to have the same kitchen table issues. Now, it's different if you, let's say you happen to be Tug's neighbors, and they may be a gay couple, and whether they've adopted or whatever modern science, they are much closer to us in kitchen table issues.
Well, I know it, and I learned it over the weekend.
Then Eugene Daniels, your trendy aunt, is. Take a listen to what he considers kitchen table issues that should be discussed.
There is another takeaway, Eugene. They claim Republicans are just better at politics. Quote, at times it seems Democrats are trying to win arguments while Republicans are focused on winning elections. Democrats operate in an ecosystem defined by reason, even in cycles when the electorate is defined by rage. What should Democrats do with that?
They should be more comfortable with the idea of power. And this is something that Democrats have been saying. I've talked to Chuck about this in the past. The idea that at the end of the day, if you are not in office, you can't do anything. And when you talk about winning hearts and minds, that is very important. When you talk about issues that matter to marginalized people, that is very important. But you can do those things and still win elections so that you can actually change laws and not just worry about hearts and minds. When, the question about whether or not you should focus on identity politics, Donald Trump only focuses on identity politics. Right? It is the heart of the MAGA movement, right? That white people are being replaced, this conspiracy theory that has no basis in fact, that, black and brown people are taking the jobs of folks. That is identity politics. The difference is that Republicans also use that with the rage and they point it somewhere. Democrats don't do the same thing. There are some who are trying and they have been trying, but you can use identity politics, quote unquote, as a kitchen table issue, right? When you talk about whether or not people can have access to healthy safe abortions, that is a kitchen table issue, right? Whether or not a trans kid can get the services they need, that is a kitchen table issue for families. So it's about crafting the message in a way that actually gets to the point that Chuck and a lot of other folks say, which is people look at the money leaving their pockets. They look at the party in power. They want
right, so there goes Eugene Daniels. He continues. What I'm pointing out is everything he's saying. First off, the Democrats do it, and he can point out, well, the Republicans do it. The MAGA movement does it. Fine, you can have your version of it. I'll have my version of it. But when we get down to kitchen table issues and the stuff that I'm concerned about, that I believe Tug is concerned about, and that I believe that most Americans somewhere in the middle are concerned about, whether a trans kid has access to getting boobs paid for by the taxpayer is not coming up, Eugene.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Whether or not my tax dollars are used so that some poor little girl who is confused and probably also dealing with autism, you're going to have the taxpayer remove money from her hamstring to give her some weird-looking wiener. That's a kitchen table issue?
It's not.
It's not.
But he was talking about being comfortable with power, too. And that's something that the Democrats are completely comfortable with. Like, who's he trying to sell that message to? That Democrats are they're not comfortable with power? I remember them weaponizing the DOJ to go after everybody. I remember them going after rivals in politics. They were very comfortable with power.
Know that the Democrats, as we have another Trump administration, another 4 years, and they have 2.5 years left of this. Like, can you imagine how long that's going to feel for the Aunt Pegs of the world? The Democrats, by and large, the ones that are way out there, they don't think that the Biden administration went far enough.
No, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
When he talks about they're not comfortable with power, because you didn't kill Trump, you didn't lock up everybody indefinitely, and you didn't end.
Those 34 felonies didn't stick. You needed to use the system to go around the law.
Which, by the way, the 34 felonies have to have an underlying crime to go along with them. The state of New York never argued that there was an underlying crime. They never even put it in any of the court documents. It was always going to be silly. It was always going to be thrown out. But it was strictly political.
But I think he was like, hey, we need to weaponize the court system so it doesn't matter and you get your political enemies.
Yes.
That's what he wants to be comfortable with.
So when he goes into, look what they're doing to identity politics, I'll say this, Aunt Eugene, the reason why you have black people and brown people, the reason why you had to backfill is because black Americans and brown Americans realize what a fraud the Democrat Party is. And you can look at the money you are trying to fundraise and the way that you try to go about things with the redistricting and everything else that's gone on. You have been the party of fraud. That's
everything you've done. Everything you've done has been fraudulent. For the past 40 or 50 years. That's the thing.
Past 50 years has been so fraudulent. And you had a compliant Republican GOP, the mealy-mouthed wieners who were just like, well, we'll just say it's okay. We'll just go along with it. Let bygones be bygones. We'll just share power. It's like some of the people actually are starting to understand, no, they're out to crush you and imprison you. It's not just that they want power, they want absolute power.
And to your point, if you remember last week, when Hakeem Jeffrey says, not only do we want to win, we want to crush their spirits. We want to make sure that they're afraid to do anything, to stand up to anything that we put forward. We want to make sure they are horrified of the consequences. They are not afraid to use power.
No,
he's
not
telling
one bit.
you. He's telling you all about it.
Not one bit. And certainly not unconstitutionally. And that's another thing that's always very funny. When we were at the town hall for Dr. Rich McCormick and the one man who stood up and talked about all the unconstitutional things that this administration is up to, it's like, well, name one, sir.
There's thousands.
There's so many. And then Tug out of nowhere. Name one, sir.
Well, it's because you'd already said it. I was like, you're bloviating. You're running around. Just give us one.
And he goes, not going to Congress to declare war?
Okay. When was the last time that happened, sir? Do you know that answer?
It was pointed out in World War II. Every president since 1973 has used the War Powers Act, which went in to make sure that another Vietnam did not occur, and how we got involved in Vietnam to make sure that that never occurred in that same way again. There would be stops that would be put to it. With all that being said, when you start talking about how many times that Trump-oriented, either executive orders or any changes in law have gone to the Supreme Court, this Supreme Court has ruled against him at times. Now, when they ruled against him on tariffs, they were like, well, you can't use these, but you can use these. And they're like, okay, we'll use those.
Done. Problem solved.
It's like just how it's going to be.
We're going to switch to it.
How many times did Joe Biden have this happen to him? The signature one was hey, we're going to be the power of the purse, and we'll take your money
and pay for people's education. Pay off their debts for them.
That was a hallmark move of, look, it turns out, that's really that's unconstitutional.
And nobody was in favor of it. Nobody. There was nobody out protesting for that one. Who is going to be the person that says, yeah, I didn't take out all these loans, but sure, I'm happy to pay them back. Nobody's going for that. And I remember the Biden administration and the Democrats raising Cain how they couldn't believe that the Supreme Court would bat that one down. When all you have to do is look at it, and it should be very, very simple. But that's again, they don't want Supreme Court justices going by the law. They want them to go with their convictions. We heard that over the weekend, too.
When the feeling from the teachers' lounge was that it was unfair that Asian students were being admitted into Ivy League universities at a rate higher than black and brown students. Always goes back to that, right? It's like, well, we have to ignore this minority in the interest of these other ones. And what did that end up? What did that cause? That caused affirmative action at the college level to be obliterated, where the Supreme Court said to the Biden administration, you can't do this any longer. Gun rights, another one. Abortion blew up when challenged under the Biden administration. No wonder they don't want to have anything ever get to that point. Why they talk about packing the courts and why they talk about the expansion of statehood. Their plan is total power. It's always been that way. And for some reason, you will have mealy-mouthed Republicans that'll go whistling by the graveyard like, no. They're like, as much as we say that Georgia is very swampy, Georgia is one of the places where I do believe you have such a coalition between swamp Republicans and swamp Democrats that they just look at each other as, hey, let's just make sure we look like we're opposition to one another, but we'll chop this state up.
That's right.
That's not happening everywhere else around the country. No, they actually want to destroy you.
Yeah, they do. And the party has moved away from anything that resembles what it used to be. The JFK party, Democrats, that doesn't exist anymore. This party has been commandeered by socialists that over the weekend told you that socialism was just a stepping stone to get to communism. That's what they want. That's what they plan to do. They're not even hiding it from you anymore. They're saying it out loud and daring you to come at them. Daring you. Because they don't think you have the courage. They don't think you have the spine. They don't think you have the backbone. When we continue on Extra 106.3, Ted Cruz is a student of history. So you better come prepared. Next on Extra.
Fighting the communists with truth every day on the only conservative news and talk station in Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
The Atlanta Braves are celebrating a Georgia legend, Alan Jackson. On August 6th, the first 15,000 fans will score an exclusive Alan Jackson bobblehead featuring Alan floating down the Chattahoochee. Arrive early for a pregame party in the plaza featuring Alan's greatest hits, line dancing, and the Good Time food truck serving up bites inspired by his music. So grab your tickets now at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. The legacy of Joe Biden lives. His open border policy let millions of illegal criminals stream into our country. We continue to have customers visit the showroom and report that they have been victims of break-ins and lost their hard-earned and irreplaceable items. So don't be a victim. Drive by the Safe House showroom and see what real security looks like. Picture yourself placing your valuables in a Fort Knox safe. Now that's real protection for your priceless valuables. Drop by the showroom or go to AtlantaSafehouse.com.
Georgia Tech football season tickets are now on sale. Secure your seat in Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field to watch head coach Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets take the field in key matchups versus Colorado, Tennessee, and ACC foes. Has a man wide open over the middle, catches the 15, and cruising in for the touchdown. 52 yards, and they made it look easy. Visit RamblinRack.com/tickets to get your tickets today. Sting 'em.
Great, another auto repair. You took it to the dealer and now you're starting to panic. They say it's going to cost thousands and take weeks to complete. So don't fall for the tricks. Take it to Vicks. From simple oil changes and tires to transmission replacements and collision repair, you can count on Vicks Auto Care for honest, affordable service. Vicks Auto Care on Roswell Street in Marietta. Visit them today at VicksAutoCare.com. That's VIKS Autocare.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Monday, May 26th, and here are your headlines. The U.S. military carried out what officials are calling self-defense strikes in southern Iran on Monday, targeting missile launch sites and Iranian boats laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, as CENTCOM said the actions were taken to protect American forces during the ongoing ceasefire. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper is investigating what it calls an unprecedented fish kill downstream from Peachtree Creek after heavy rainfall sent polluted stormwater, untreated sewage overflow, and warmer contaminated water into the Chattahoochee River following weeks of drought conditions and low river flow after the large amount of rainfall over this past weekend. And finally, a Pebblebrook High School senior has been awarded a $10,000 Fox Theater Scholarship after being recognized for his work in technical theater, leadership, and scenic design, with Mike Leon Martinez now set to continue his studies at the University of North Carolina School of Arts. Rainfall is expected throughout the day in and around Atlanta, with a high of 80 and a low of 69. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3, 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. Hope you had a restful or fun and eventful Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully you reflected on the reason that we celebrated it and getting back to work today. Los coming back from a nice trip for anniversary. My family, we didn't do much of anything. We just laid low. So it was definitely good for the both of us.
How many hot dogs do you eat?
I didn't have any hot dogs.
Tug does not partake in that, sir.
You don't eat hot dogs?
I mean, that maybe
calls
once
it
a year.
Po people food.
That's not true.
He's like, you realize how they make those, right? Don't eat those.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year.
When he's around his family.
Yeah, right. Definitely. No, I mean,
like he's one of the guys still.
If anybody could, I mean, somebody makes them, I'll eat them. But it's not anything that
Are
I
you getting one that like a Braves game if you go?
I usually get a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
They don't serve those in the suite, sir. They serve Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Or just down, anywhere.
Okay,
I forgot it's not one of them.
Let me give you an example.
Brisket and burgers is what we did.
Let me give you an example, and I'll do this as a test on Tug. Tug, what have you eaten last? A hot dog or Cracker Jacks?
Cracker Jacks.
Where did you have said Cracker Jacks?
Was it? I feel like I'm being cornered up here. It was in the Braves Radio Network. Just throw a man under the bus.
They always have Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, and
always.
I love Cracker Jacks. God, I love Cracker Jacks. I know they can't be good for you, and my favorite is my son's allergic to peanuts. So he just eats like the popcorn with the caramel on it, and I just got sweet peanuts at the bottom. Was so delicious.
Do they still include
like a little patch or something there? Yeah, but I don't think anybody.
What's the point of it?
Well, it used to be a long time ago. It was
branding.
actually it was a cool like some sort of little
like water tattoo,
or something. And now I don't know what
to kind of make you look like you're a sailor.
Yeah, come on.
Sailors got tattoos.
So Tug, you used to put them on as a sailor yourself?
No. But they used to be at least decent. Now I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think that they're pretty. It's like when you used to get baseball cards and they'd give you a stick of gum. Now they don't do that anymore.
No, they don't even put the gum in there. And the gum then was terrible. I mean, it was like hard and
It's like the gum that's at a what are those called? Not Tootsie Pops. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting.
Like a blow pop?
Blow pop.
There you go. Yeah,
let me ask him this before we jump into this segment.
Because Ted Cruz is a student of history. Going to get to that in just a second.
Yes, in just a moment. Bryce, as a student of history, do you know what Big League Chew is?
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
I was just kind of curious about that because to look back. Now, yes, did they make candy cigarettes when we were growing up? Yes, they did.
Candy cigarettes are great, too.
Those are so. My sister used to love that. She would get it every time at the gas station.
I didn't recognize because, I didn't know any better. I was like, oh, look, I'm getting Big League Chew bubble gum. I had no idea they were basically giving me a pouch and a system that looked like regular chew.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be. It was the kid version, of Big Chaw Red Man or something.
So that you would be ready when you got older.
That's right. Just hand it right off.
That's right.
It was very natural.
I've been doing this for years. Yeah. What's the big deal?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
Doug, final question I have for you. Would you go out and buy Cracker Jacks at the stadium? Like, would you go and buy them?
No, because they're for free in the suite.
I've never bought them
before. Very good question, sir.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm being cornered up by you as well. But the answer is no. I've never bought Cracker Jacks.
I feel like you're trying to lock me down on this one.
I feel like I'm being punched while I'm down. You're not supposed to hit people when they're down, and I feel like I'm being beaten, bloodied up in front of everyone. Tug and Los from 10 Extra 106.3, 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Your Atlantic.
Yeah, it is. Apparently so. And candy cigarettes are one of them. Or regular cigarettes.
Or a Chaw Red Man, whatever. Because I remember growing up, and I knew plenty of people that, at a very young age, they started with Copenhagen, get that little Copenhagen smile, have the Copenhagen circle on their jeans, but then would easily transition to just, whatever their favorite chew was, and it usually was their grandpa's and their dad's favorite chew as well. So if you grew up with it, you know what I'm talking about.
Tug started with the Copenhagens and then graduated the Big League Chew.
That's right. Ted Cruz is a guy that is so stinking smart, and I love to see people try to challenge him.
Never. Just a good rule of thumb. If it's political history, the two people you don't want to ever mess with, Newt Gingrich, Ted Cruz. Okay, there's your list of the Mount Rushmore. There's two, and there's only two on there where if you go down this road, you aren't going to like how this plays out for you. This is why Ted Cruz gets spoken about a potential Supreme Court justice at a certain point, because he knows the history of the country, understands the founding of the country.
And appreciates it, though, and loves it.
And certainly appreciates it, because so much of what you ask of Supreme Court justices is understand where the country was at certain points of its history. So when Senator Hirono from Hawaii decided she was going to get Ted Cruz, I'm going to get you with a good one, during a Senate committee meeting, hey, people are testifying here. I'm gonna use this as my opportunity. First off, she's known as not being the most live wire. All right, she's slow on the uptake. Are these all nice ways of just saying?
You're being as polite as you possibly can.
I'm just saying,
which I admire. I love that about you.
She is the woman who's wearing a steak necklace and got in the lion's cage. The lion is named Ted Cruz. So we'll fade this down after a few, but I want you to take a listen where she's trying to get a good shot in. And Ted Cruz wants to respond, and he patiently waits for his time on the committee to then drill home some information for Senator Hirono. Take a listen.
So why don't you just stop lecturing the rest of us? Just because you think you are the smartest person in the world doesn't mean the rest of us agree to that, okay? Thank you.
Senator Hirono? Senator, I knew Diane. Senator Cruz. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a moment ago, our colleague, Senator Hirono, said there's a lot more to say, and indeed, she's right. And in fact, I want to go back to her comments. She began by saying we have a long history of racial discrimination in this country. That's undoubtedly correct. And then she said, quote, we had poll taxes, we had literacy tests, we even had tests of how many jelly beans are in a jar. Mr. Chamberlain, when Senator Hirono says we had poll taxes, I want to ask you who we is, and in particular, what party was it that implemented poll taxes in the South?
And I don't want to necessarily speak in every single case, but I'm pretty confident it was mostly the Democrats.
And what party was it that put literacy tests in place in the South?
Same answer, mostly the Democrats.
And what party was it that had tests like how many jelly beans are in a bottle?
The Democrats.
Tell me, what party were the founders of the Ku Klux Klan from?
I'm pretty sure that was the Democrats.
Indeed. In fact, Nathan Bedford Forrest, the founder of the Klan, was a delegate to the 1860 Democrat National Convention. What party wrote the Jim Crow laws in the South?
The Democrats.
And so on this side of the aisle were members of the Republican Party. Who was the first Republican president?
Abraham Lincoln.
The Republican Party was literally founded to oppose slavery. We came into existence because slavery was a grotesque evil, and it was President Lincoln, the first Republican president, who signed the Emancipation Proclamation, who won the Civil War, and that resulted in the freeing of the slaves and the passage of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. By the way, fast forward to the Civil Rights era. Bull Connor, one of the most noxiously racist politicians. What party was he from?
He was a Democrat.
The Democrats, for the entire history of their party, have been a party based on racial discrimination. They affirmatively embrace it. They support it. Let me ask you, Mr. Grime, is discriminating based on race consistent with the United States Constitution?
No.
What does the 14th Amendment say about discrimination?
We can fade down from here.
Dude, just to punch it back, and you can hear
her wanting to say something.
Sighing. She's sighing.
All I'm pointing out, and this goes back to even 2020. I told Democrats, leave Donald Trump in the election alone. Just leave him alone. And what would have happened? You would have had a Donald Trump with a Republican Senate, a Democrat Senate, Democrat House, largely without any fangs at that point.
Lame duck, pretty much.
And he would have spent 4 years trying to do executive orders, which you would have countered and locked up in the courts, and you would have gotten by through 4 years without a problem.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't leave it alone. Just couldn't leave it alone. And now you have Donald Trump with all the levers of government, and he's not kidding around. You did this. I did not. To Senator Hirono, it's the same concept. Don't poke the bear when you're wearing a steak necklace, okay? That you poked at Ted Cruz, who proceeded to ruin you.
But the crazy part is, she had no idea of any of that.
Oh, I doubt it.
She had no idea. So when she's hearing this for the first time, likely, that's why you hear her sighing, going, like, oh God,
no.
What if I can't believe I stepped on that anthill.
You are the one, you gave him the in. You were like, here's the inside track. Go for it if you can.
Because she doesn't know. And she doesn't care to know. She had no idea. She didn't know what was coming. She thought she was, like you said, so she was going to set the trap. And then her own ignorance is what got her caught.
Because that man, I mean, he basically did the alphabet of racism in this country from 1860 to like 1970 and just hammered the Democrats with it.
110 years.
Because that was their business.
That's right. And it still
was
is.
Their business. Yes.
Still is.
Even when racism, by and large, what does they call it? Organized racism, whatever their term that they love to go with it, in order to create more people to believe they're victims. When there's not enough there, then the Southern Poverty Law Center pays for it to make it up.
And creates more. Yeah, anything we need.
The Democrats actually pay for it so they can pretend it exists.
Dude, that's and you and I knew that just by growing up through the 90s.
Yes.
Right? Everybody was cool, everybody got along, everything was so normal. Was there issues? Of course there are issues. Are there going to be issues? Life is imperfect at best. We live in a broken and fallen world. But by and large, overall, everybody got along. Everybody was getting along. Everybody was doing pretty well. And Barack Obama said, we can't have this.
We got to sow division.
We got to figure this out.
In the interest of power.
Here's how we get power, and here's how we keep power. Here's how we maintain it. If there's not enough of that, we'll pay for it, just like you're talking about.
And here's where Barack Obama, this is the venom that he put into this country. If I sit, because I was in a hot tub last week, and people from all over the country, Charlotte, Kentucky, some people from California, and had I made the point to one of them, and politics never came up, it's a lot of sports talk, a lot of different stuff, but had I made the point to one of them that would have pointed out that suddenly I'm from the opposite aisle of them, if we're pre-Barack Obama, they're never going to look at me like it's based on race. It's just, hey, I view it this way, you view it this way. All right, we don't agree. Barack Obama introduced the venom of, if you don't agree, it's because you're a racist.
Oh, and then that evolved into a Nazi.
Think about the damage that has done to American society that he continues to this day, that if we don't agree, it's because I'm a racist. If somebody goes against your policy, which is bad policy, they must be a Nazi.
And it's crazy if you see what's going on in Maine, where they actually embrace a Nazi.
Where a man in Graham Plattner actually has a Nazi tattoo. And then is also, you want to talk about a long history of the stuff he was posting on Reddit. This
unreal.
I thought this was one of the smartest points that I saw over the weekend. And I wish I had put it aside so I could give proper credit to this woman who was pointing it out. There was an article in, I think it was the New York Daily News, that was talking about his Reddit history. When he would talk about other soldiers who had been shot or hurt in combat, they deserved to die. He was being an idiot. You know, good thing he got shot. Just putrid stuff.
Yeah, sickening.
And his only response to it is, well, I served 4 tours.
That's right. As he's getting in his truck.
To not apologize.
Yeah.
The point was, this is the first time that you've had a one of these people that looks at themselves in a Bernie Sanders-like way. I'm a Democrat socialist. Well, Democrat socialism was on the ballot in New York, and there weren't enough people to counter it. In the same way Bernie Sanders gets through all the time because there's not enough people to counter it. There is in Maine. And now the big guns are coming out. And now you're finding out a lot about this dude. And Democrat socialists will have a very hard time winning equal states where there are just as many Republicans as there are Democrats.
And it's unusual. I don't remember anybody just being open to someone with Nazi tattoos running for office. And yet Bernie Sanders, the fight the oligarchy guy, the guy that says tax the rich, we need to tax the rich, as he owns 3 or 4 mansions, and when asked about it, I'm not going to apologize for owning 3 or 4 mansions, but pretends that he's in line with the working man, is out there raising the guy with the Nazi tattoos hand like they're in victory together and going to win this race.
I just have only seen one Democrat representative from the state of Maine who have said, I think that the tattoo alone is disqualifying.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I'm glad that somebody's brave enough to say it. Absolutely it is.
Jake Onchiklos says Graham Plattner's Nazi tattoo should be disqualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
But good for him for at least saying
finally.
It. One out of how many? Goodness.
Because Elizabeth Warren is like, he just made a mistake.
Exactly.
A Nazi tattoo?
That's a big mistake, ma'am. That's quite the mistake.
A Nazi tattoo.
Quite the mistake. I've got a tattoo. Guess what? It's not of.
It's not of a Totenkopf?
No, it's not. Oh, my God.
Which, by the way, was specific to those serving in concentration camps to let the people know who are there. You are going to die here.
They have a anti-Semitism Nazi problem on the left. And just like communists do, blame them for what you're actually doing, right? Isn't that the playbook? That's the playbook. When we continue on Extra 106.3, a BLM fraud case, a fraud charge is coming next on the Morning Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, May 26th. The Atlanta Braves were off yesterday. They open up their road trip tonight in Boston as they match up with the Red Sox. It'll be Spencer Strider on the mound. He'll be opposed by Ranger Suarez. First pitch tonight is set for 6:45. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the NBA, one half of the NBA Finals is now set as the New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers last night, beating them 130-93. They will now await the Western Conference winner as the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder are currently tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 from OKC Tips off tonight at 8:30 with your sports headlines. I'm Carlos Medina.
For more local sports, head over to The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. And for the latest political news and talk, stick with Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Just 15 miles from downtown Atlanta, there's a place where the game feels the way it was meant to. Welcome to Wolf Creek Golf Club in southwest Atlanta. Long before the first tee shot was struck, this land, 250 acres of rolling hills and quiet wetlands, was a natural escape. In 2001, 2 Georgia Tech grads saw its potential and built a course that works with the land, not against it. Wolf Creek winds through trees, elevation changes, and scenic water, creating a true golfer's golf course. This isn't just another round. It's a test of strategy, of patience, of skill, and yet it's open to everyone. Whether you're booking your next public tee time or ready to elevate your game with membership options, Wolf Creek delivers a pure golf experience. Wolf Creek is now under new ownership, upgrading the course and clubhouse facilities, and with new head pro Don Tracy. Play it, experience it, belong to it. Visit wolfcreekgc.com to book your round or call 404-344-1334 to learn more. Wolf Creek Golf Club, Atlanta Golf, the way it should be.
When Atlanta drivers want strength, capability, and comfort in one place, they head to Jim Ellis Buick GMC.
That's because Buick and GMC deliver everything from refined luxury to serious professional-grade performance, and Jim Ellis Buick GMC makes the buying experience quick, easy, and transparent.
Whether you're looking for a rugged GMC Sierra, a versatile Acadia, or a refined Buick Enclave, you'll find a huge selection in stock right now.
And just like every Jim Ellis dealership, you can shop your way. Start online, value your trade, schedule a test drive, even handle paperwork from home.
Or stop by and experience the no-pressure, straightforward approach Jim Ellis is known for.
Find your new Buick GMC at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person for a VIP shopping experience designed around your needs.
2 convenient locations to serve you. In Chamblee on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter, or up Highway 20 in Buford near the Mall of Georgia.
Jim Ellis Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Are you paying too much in taxes? Most people are, and they don't even realize it. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Every year, hardworking individuals and business owners send more money to the IRS than they legally have to. I hate to see it. Not because they did anything wrong, but because the tax code is complex. It's always changing, and it's full of opportunities most people never hear about. So here's the real question. Could you be paying less in taxes? With the right strategy, many people can. Through smarter planning, overlooked deductions, and better retirement and income decisions, you can win in retirement. That's why we're offering a complimentary tax analysis. No cost, no obligation, just a clear look at where you may be overpaying and what you can do about it. Stop guessing, get answers. Call Nicholas Wealth Management 678-990-8500, 678-990-8500, or visit nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
Fox on Tech.
A California jury found that Meta and YouTube harmed a young girl with addictive features that led to mental health issues. Many are hoping this will open the gates to many more lawsuits and for bipartisan calls to change or let lapse Section 230. Section 230 has been around for 30 years and shields big tech companies from liability for what users post online. Many argue it has become outdated compared to the rapid growth of social media. Senator Dick Durbin posted, quote, "These back-to-back decisions in New Mexico and California show that big tech has become big tobacco. Now it's time for Congress to sunset Section 230 once and for all." Some of those efforts have faced intense pushback from industry groups that argue ending 230 could lead to censorship. With Fox on Tech, Connor Hansen, Fox Business.
The biggest candidates in Georgia are live on Extra 106.3 FM.
Joined by gubernatorial candidate for the state of Georgia, Burt Jones.
I've been consistent on cutting taxes, cutting regulations, trying to improve our education system by giving parents more choices. Also, we passed a literacy bill for our public school systems. So I've had a real heavy focus on education, economic opportunities, and all these things. You know, I'd rather talk about the issues. I think the voters would rather hear about the issues.
Candidates, the road to victory includes a stop at Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3.
Can we promo that?
Yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't. Yes, absolutely right. We've got Representative Tim Burchett for Tennessee coming on. I think it is on June 1st.
June 1st is what he's booked for.
Next Monday, I believe.
Next Monday. Dude, I am so over the moon about this because I love him. He talks like I talk. And when I say that, people think I mean his accent. Though that is true as well. He actually talks the way I talk when it comes to the things he says and the things he believes. And I think he talks the way Los talks. In the things that Los says and thinks and believes. It's nothing to do with accent. It's who he is and what he believes and what he stands for.
So my joke that I've been going in my mind, I'm trying to think of how best to ask my UFO UAP question, but have Representative Burchett basically direct the answer at Tug. And I think the structure is going to be something along the lines of, you've talked about how the things you've seen in a skiff would keep regular people up at night. I would like for you to keep Tug Coward up at night by just explaining whatever you can about that.
Just a little taste. Just a little taste. I'm so excited about it, man. I have to tell you, I don't think I've ever been more excited about a guest in 5 years coming on the show.
He's not in studio, is he?
No, he's going to be in D.C., so he'll call
get him on the phone.
He may be home. I tell you about it. He may be home in Knoxville.
And then tomorrow, Greg Dolezal is going to be in with us. We'll get a chance to kind of talk about this runoff. And that's the same thing, too. I've already gotten word that the information has been sent out to John Kennedy as well. And we'd like to be able to that's one person during this cycle we haven't got a chance to talk to. But yeah, now that we're heating things back up for these runoffs that are coming around the corner. I mean, we're talking basically in a week and a half about. So we want to make sure that these candidates get one more time to sell to you, and then as we get into the fall, whoever gets through these primaries, they will be part of the Morning Extra on a regular basis.
Without a doubt, asking for your vote, and it's so important that we get out and vote. And I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse and banging the drum, but it is. This primary matters. Getting out and voting in the primary actually matters. Take it serious. Get out and vote for the person that you think will do the best. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, AG, Secretary of State, all of them. They are so valuable because that's who's going to square off against the Democrat. Make sure you choose wisely.
And an important primary in the state of Texas because that's Ken Paxton and John Cornyn. The results are going to be fascinating to see if another incumbent GOP senator that has been, if you don't remember or you haven't kept up with the story, Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, said, I'll drop out of this race if you all pass the SAVE Act. So just put it out there to Thune and the rest of them. Pass this, you save Cornyn, I'm out. And they wouldn't do it.
No.
They wouldn't even take up a vote on it. So now Paxton, who has the backing of Donald Trump, gets a chance to take out John Cornyn, and the establishment Republicans around the country are going nuts. They're like, there's no way we can win with Ken Paxton. But they're all from around the country. Texans are the ones that are complaining about, we don't want John Cornyn anymore, in part because he doesn't represent us. He represents interests in Washington, and he came for our guns.
I'll tell you, having Ken Paxton go against James Tallarico, if that's the way it works, I'm just fine with that. I think you've got the upper hand either way. I think you have the upper hand. But with a guy like Tallarico that twists the Bible the way he does and tries to pretend that he is a Bible believer, dude, he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Listen to what he says. It'll be clear. I think that one will be even easier than beating Keisha Lance Bottoms here in Georgia, because of just what they already have out there.
It's very difficult to survive in the state of Texas, in my opinion, if you have said the things that Tallarico has said in terms of God is non-binary.
Yeah, all kinds of craziness.
Dude, stay out of that area. The left fools themselves into thinking that Austin and many of the cities that are largely blue are representative of Texas. Texas is red, man. Texas is so red, but they keep trying to tell themselves it's purple. It's not. In fact, I was told, Ted Cruz has got a real chance of getting beat here. I think he won by like 12.
Yeah. I'm eager to see what this looks like. I'm eager to see what the Texans truly believe. See how the turnout is. Dude, it wouldn't surprise me if the Tallarico turnout is really low once you get to the general election. But because I don't believe anybody looking at that, even if you're a Democrat, I don't believe people looking at that would go, yeah, he represents my values. If I'm a Bible believing, even if I'm a Democrat, there's no way you can go, yeah, he's right about this stuff.
By the way, Ted Cruz won by nearly 10%, almost 1 million votes.
Yeah,
nearly 1 million votes.
That's big. So yeah, we'll follow.
You know
up.
if Trump is still perfect on all of his endorsements?
I don't.
But this one
this is going to be another
one.
Yeah,
Ken Paxton one's a big one.
But even if he's missed one somewhere, I mean, he's got a good record. It's like 138 at this point.
He was 39-0 at one point.
He typically swoops in at. I've joked around about this. He swoops in at the end, and then he gets credit for it. It's different with what he's doing in Texas.
Yeah, because he's getting out in front.
And it's different what he's doing with Burt Jones here in Georgia. That is a very early endorsement.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, look, he's endorsed Burt for quite some time, so it's not surprising.
No, it's his guy.
It's his guy, right? But out in Texas, that one actually is a little surprising. But he was so pissed about the Save America Act that he was like, I don't care. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, I've given you enough time. I was going to do John Cornyn. Okay,
and he was.
Yeah,
he was willing to do it.
He was willing to do it. He announced about a month ago that he was going to make an endorsement, and then didn't when all of this came down the way it did.
It's fascinating. Politics is fascinating.
Yes,
and they make odd bedfellows. And there's just it's fun to watch, but then when you realize that the country hangs in the balance, it becomes less fun and gets a little more stressful.
Oh, can I play this audio real quick before we get to the end?
Yeah.
All right. Fox News. We have talked about how BLM stole a bunch of money from white liberals. They wanted to make a difference in 2020. Let's give it to BLM. And what have I said for the entire time? When I read their charter and they don't believe that Israel should exist, I went, hold on a second.
Let's read through that again.
This seems kind of Marxist when I'm reading through it. I think BLM is a load of crap. And I was told by even a coworker in this building, man, you can't post that. You can't say anything about BLM. It's like, to hell, I can't. So that's how I ended up working with Tug. But take a listen. Fox News now actually had the story of here's one of BLM's founders. We talked about all the money they stole. In this case, embezzlement.
Fox News alert, a BLM executive indicted for embezzling millions in donations and spending it on vacation, shopping, houses. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has the details. Kevin.
Crazy stuff, my friend. Authorities say over a 5-year period, 52-year-old Tashella Sharia Moore Dickerson, just like the song, the executive director of Black Lives Matter OKC, diverted more than $3 million in return bail checks right into her very own bank accounts. And tonight, thanks to a 25-count federal indictment, she faces up to 450 years behind bars and millions in potential fines. Dickerson charged with 20 counts of wire fraud and 5 counts of money laundering following a scheme in which she's accused of routing money intended for the group's programs into accounts that she controlled between June of 2020 and October of 2025. The indictment said she used the money for her own personal benefit, including travel to Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, tens of thousands of dollars in retail shopping, more than 50 grand in food deliveries. Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the difference in this stuff. And this is the joke about BLM. BLM took all those donations and in a lot of cases legally paid themselves as far as an organization, which is entirely legal. Hey, we just got in $10 million. Well, I don't know if you understand this, but our founder and our directors all make about $2 million apiece. This woman happened to embezzle the money, which is why she's going to look at 400 years.
450 years. Good Lord.
Either way, they all stole your money, baby.
And
they stole your money.
And they're happy to do it.
Yeah, they were like, well, see you later.
That's right. I'm going to head back to my mansion. I'll be back later. So good. When we continue on Extra 106.3, the
what
show.
What a sham.
Absolutely flown by. So much fun.
We're going to help black people. No, you're going to go steal all the white liberal ladies' money.
And help yourself. If you're going to pack the courts, let's do it now. Next on Extra.
It's time time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
From west of the Continental Divide, in a divided country, it's your pal Neil Bortz with another pithy commentary. Where is all the political anger coming from? And I'm talking about the anger, the hatred, the rage from the left toward Donald Trump or anybody with a conservative viewpoint, especially, I'm so sorry to say, women with blue hair. What in the world are they so mad at? Is it the whole thing with immigrants, illegal aliens being sent back to their home countries? Barack Obama promised that. Hillary Clinton promised that if she became president, God help us. Bill Clinton promised that. Why is everybody so mad? Why? Because it's being done finally by a Republican. Not just any Republican, but a Republican that beat Hillary Clinton and the appointed presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. Here's something else to consider. Meritocracy. Oh my goodness, how the left hates meritocracy. These people will straight up tell you that people should not have to work for a living. They ought to have a living wage guaranteed by the government. And if they do work and they make too much money, they should be taxed extra because they're so successful. As that little left-wing charitable girl I encountered a few decades ago on my radio show in Atlanta, everybody ought to have an equal amount of stuff. She's probably in her 30s now. I wonder if she still agrees with that. If she does, I'm hoping she gives away a lot of her stuff that other people don't have so that the thing can be equaled out. It's rather fun watching the left get so mad at Donald Trump. It would be more fun if it wasn't so dangerous for our country politically. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 106.3.
A senator's job is on the line. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News in Texas, where the rest of the polls are just opening now for a runoff, and Senator John Cornyn just told Fox.
My experience gives me a chance to do things for the president and for Texans that a newbie could not do.
He is facing a Trump-backed challenger, Ken Paxton, Texas's Republican Attorney General, who the president endorsed last week.
We have to unite. We have a common enemy, James Tallarico, who is extremely radical.
Paxton is feeling wind in his sails with Trump's support. He says Texas Republicans need to get behind him to defeat Democrat James Tallarico this fall.
That's Fox's Bill Malugin. The U.S. military says the ceasefire with Iran is still in place, despite new attacks in Iran. Central Command calls them self-defense, targeting missile launch sites and boats, placing underwater mines. Secretary of State Marco Rubio tells reporters overseas they're still trying to work out a deal.
Like anything with something like this, it's going to take a couple days to settle on, even down to the disagreements over a word.
But Iran's supreme leader said today the U.S. military bases in that region are no longer safe. Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv.
Despite the fact that there is an immense amount of economic pressure on the Iranian regime, they are still doing what they can to disrupt international shipping because they see the Strait of Hormuz as the last critical piece of leverage that they have. Their nuclear program was destroyed during Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. During Operation Epic Fury, much of their military was dismantled, including their navy that now sits at the bottom of the sea.
Israel has ramped up the fight against Iran-backed Hezbollah militants.
Lebanon state-run news agency says bodies were pulled from the rubble after a strike at the village of Mashkara in the Bekaa Valley. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's authorized more intense strikes targeting Hezbollah militants who've been launching drone attacks on Israeli troops stationed in southern Lebanon and towns in northern Israel.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever been in a really bad relationship? Kind of wears you down, right? You settle in, even though deep down you know this is not the way it's supposed to be. That's what daily aches and pains feel like. You stop expecting to feel good. You start thinking, maybe this is just life now. But it doesn't have to be. With Relief Factor, you can break up with pain, just like Anthony did. Anthony wrote to me, he said, Glenn, I was dealing with debilitating pain and fatigue. I've been taking Relief Factor for about 2 months, and now I'm back to running my business, fishing, gardening, and doing all the things that actually matter to me. This is why I endorse Relief Factor. It has helped me, and I know it's helping so many in this audience live their lives to the full potential. Is it your turn? Relief Factor, 100% drug-free, targets inflammation that causes pain so you can move better, feel better, and actually enjoy life again. Try the 3-week quick start. It's $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Break up with pain and get back to what matters. relieffactor.com, 800-4RELIEF.
Hey, it's your old pal Neil Bortz. I'm back on Atlanta's only conservative news talk station, Extra 106.3. Okay, here's more of the Morning Extra.
That's a good pull there, Bryce. On our rainy day here.
I'm running out of rain songs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have enough for the whole week.
I know, right? And into next week, too. We might have to recycle a few. But this was a good one, for sure. Garth Brooks, Thunder Rolls, super dark song. And it was when he was in, Riding High. This is probably 1989-ish, 90-ish. From No Fences, which was the huge record. It had Friends in Low Places on it. And then this is really dark. And I remember it got it even more attention because they were like, they may ban the video from CMT. Oh, my goodness. What are we going to do next? And Garth just rode the wave, and it made a whole lot of sense for him. But yes, it is supposed to rain for the next, it's indefinite. It may rain forever. Start building the second
Kind of needed it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we went, the entire month of April, where that's
Almost
typically everything's going to get nice rain,
showers,
everything gets green and pretty, and we didn't get anything.
No, but the last 4 days we have, and it will continue for like I said, indefinitely into next week. Just rain everywhere and all the time.
Can I send a quick country call out?
Yes,
it's not a shout out.
We love country call outs around here.
Nick Cellini.
What's up, Nick?
And our guy Tom Mitchell, Nick Cellini, who works down the hall. So he reached out to me probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And his youngest, Nico, who's now starting to drive.
Oh, my gosh.
Which, that time flies.
Yeah,
I'm like, Nico's already driving. He's like, hey, we need a car. He's like,
tell me about this honest car guy.
Tell me about Tom. And I was like, listen, what you're looking for? I was like, Tom is perfect. I was like, you pick out what you want. I was like, Tom's going to find it for you. You're going to avoid a whole bunch of the fees. It's going to save you thousands on the transaction. And sure enough, just got an email this morning. Hey, we bought a car through Tom.
Nice.
It worked out great.
There we go.
So,
down the hall.
Yeah, so honestcarguy.com. Even people in this building are using Tom Mitchell. I'm planning for our next vehicle when it comes to my daughter. We're going to be looking for probably my wife and I were talking about this last week. Probably a smaller, safer SUV. Sure. We'll kind of figure it out from there. But we'll call up Tom. We'll go to honestcarguy.com. I'm actually going to text him. That's going to be the plan.
I got the hookup.
is here's what we're going to do, and we will just pay the Honest Car Guy fee, and we'll keep it moving from there.
Dude, that's so awesome. And Tom was in the office last week. Got to talk to him for a little while, and he says he gets more people from Extra 106.3 than he's ever gotten anywhere he's ever advertised. And he said the difference in Extra listeners is they know what they want and they're ready to buy.
And they're ready.
And the he's like just the exchange, the discussion, getting down to making the purchase is so easy and quick and simple. He was like, Extra listeners know exactly what they want and what they want to do.
Well, typically they've picked out the car.
Yep.
They've done a little bit of shopping on their own.
That's exactly what he says. He said they've researched it. They know.
And so by the time that Tom finds it, they see immediately the value in what he's able to save you. And you go, oh, I am going to save money on this transaction. Like, yeah, you are.
And it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a substantial amount. I encourage you too, man. Just because I've seen it play out now multiple times with now our coworkers down the hall, but just listeners that have come into the building.
Who've come in to record because they're like, wow,
I can't keep this to myself.
This is pretty amazing. I'm like, yeah. I was like, that's what happens when you work with him.
And people recognize, hey, this is something that's not available out there everywhere. This is something that you should know about if you're in the market for a car. and are willing to come in and speak on Tom's behalf because they've gone through the process. It's pretty amazing. So when you hear Los talk about the honest car guy, know that he's going to use them, and so many people around the office. And
we've already been doing it. We've been through the process.
How long has it been? Has it been a year yet? A little over a year?
I think we're getting a little bit closer to that, yeah.
The fact that he says extra listeners are some of the most qualified, the most successful when it comes to making this purchase with him. It's done my heart.
It's great to hear it.
It means that you are listening and value what we say and the evidence that we've laid out for you.
What we've just said, just give them a try.
That's all you have to
do.
do.
Our clientele that we work with, just give them a call, give them a try.
All you have to do.
And hey, if it works, great. If it doesn't, okay, cool.
You say that too.
But that's how it's been. And when it's come to getting that vehicle, we have people who are willing to come up here in the new vehicle they got with Tom and to record spots with us. Those are not actors.
Including a woman that bought one for her military son.
Her son had actually made the purchase, and she was the one who was handling the transaction because he was still deployed.
Yeah.
So
that kind of relationship.
It was in her driveway when he got home from deployment.
Yeah, so cool.
Pretty cool.
Just pulls up and there's his new car. Guys, it's got to be a good feeling, especially coming off deployment, man.
Welcome home.
Yeah, here you go with the big
Here's
bow.
the car you were looking for.
Here's the big bow on top. God, so great. Morning Extra, Extra 1063. That's why we say if you will just give our advertisers the first option, just the opportunity. Give them the first chance to earn your business. We'd appreciate it. That's all we ask. Nothing else. When you hear us talking about, especially in the morning and the afternoon show, when you hear us talking about a particular advertiser, give them the first chance to earn your business. That's all we ask. Morning Extra on Extra 1063. The first thing to know this morning.
Way out west, there's a show, the Morning Extra, the Morning Extra. Tug Los.
Oh yeah, Super Bowl. You know me, just Mr. Bold guy.
Breaking news that's bold.
I love when I saw this happen. It was at the end of last week, and it was one of those that it stood out to me so much that it was just turning the tables on the Democrats. House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan. He called out the Democrats because they've been talking about how if we get back in power, we are going to pack the Supreme Court. And they give you all kinds of things that they want to do. But packing the Supreme Court is the one that stood out to Jim Jordan. I want you to hear what he said to the Democrats about this very thing. If you're nervous about it, if you follow Jim's path, you might not be as much.
The chair recognizes the chairman of the full committee.
One quick question. I'm just curious what the panel thinks. Why don't we just add 4 justices now? If 13 circuits, we need to go to 9 to 13 as the ranking member of the full committee suggested at the start of the hearing. Why wouldn't we just add them now if we're going to add them? What do you think of that? We'll just go down the line.
The first rule of justice is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I oppose doing that now just as I would oppose doing it under a different president.
No, that's where I'm at. Totally agree. But it seems to me if we're going to do it, and 13 is some important number that we got to get to based on the number of circuits, then we should, if we're going to do 4, do it now. Mr. Bowie, would you support doing that?
Why would we wait? Just calling them out right in front of everybody, right in front of the world and everybody.
Let them add 4 more.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's just get it done. You're saying it's the most important thing to do. You got to get it done to make sure America, make sure we save democracy. That's always the answer. So why wouldn't we just do it now? And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, hold on. No. Yeah, that means Donald Trump would put the extra 4. We don't want to do that. We got to wait. Jim Jordan just quickly making them look like a dog on ice, backpedaling, trying to stop.
There were 2, I think they would have been catastrophic if it had actually moved forward. Not that the left didn't try, because listen, Joe was asleep at the wheel. Joe Biden was asleep at the wheel, and the Democrats had a field day doing whatever they wanted to do. The first one was when they had the exploratory committee into looking to add more justices. And what they found was America has no appetite for this. They will not support you on it. They clearly see what it is, that the American society has gotten so used to the amount of judges on the court that if somebody dies and you get a chance, or they retire and you get a chance to replace them, that is welcome within American society. Packing the court is not. Okay, I think that would have been catastrophic. The other one was hey, let's tax you on unrealized gains.
What do you think? Well,
which they tried.
Yeah, right. No, you've not sold anything. No, you don't have the money, but we think this is what you'll be worth down the road. This is the interest in the money we think you're going to gain. So we're going to tax you on that. What do you think? No, that's the dumbest thing in the history of the world.
Except they wanted to do it.
No, of course they do.
And they talked about it 2 different times during the Biden administration.
And the difference with the whole packing the court, the difference I think this time will be if they were to be able in a position to get it done, they won't care what the American people think. They will do it if they have the ability to. If they have both chambers and the presidency, dude, if they can get it done, they will. They do not care what anybody thinks. They are invested in power alone.
Well, as much as they hate Donald Trump, and they hate Donald Trump.
Yes, and you too, because you like him.
As I point out, I don't use the word hate unless it's on cancer and terrorism when it comes to how I view things. I hate terrorism. I hate cancer. Everything else I either highly dislike or I'm just not fond of. They hate Donald Trump. Trump's probably his biggest legacy is going to be turning the court conservative. That was going to be his legacy after 2017 to 2021. And it still remains. And you still have a court that, even though it does not vote with Donald Trump every time, it does vote with the Constitution much more often. It's no longer the living document discussion. It's like, no, what does it say? Okay, that's what we're doing. That's the whole reason why that hatred. Why would they pack the court? Because they hate Trump so much for having turned the court into a conservative court.
No doubt. And the crazy thing is, I want you to hear what Ro Khanna said about this specifically. And if we're packing the court, and we are going to do it now, I suggest Ted Cruz and Ron DeSantis be 2 of the people. And DeSantis has already talked about it. He said that would be his dream job. He has a wonderful relationship with Clarence Thomas, almost like a father-son relationship there. Maybe those 2 would be a good start.
Both 40-year-old men.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be there a really long time. But I want you to hear from Ro Khanna when he's defending 8-1 decisions when it comes to Ketanji Brown Jackson. But I want you to focus on what he says the reasoning behind the 8-1 decision is, and it has nothing to do with the Constitution.
Something you said the court should be apolitical. I heard Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson say the same thing. Did you support her appointment to the court?
I did.
Okay, so if you're saying you supported her and you have seen some of the rulings that she has made in the brevity of her time on the court, it seems fairly obvious that she is not operating apolitically. I think that's a pretty fair statement. And so as I say that, how can you then make the argument that by expanding the court somehow we'll end up with a less political court?
Why do you say she's not acting apolitically? I mean, she's supported voting rights. That is something Dr. Martin Luther King fought for. That's something John Lewis fought for.
You don't end up 8-1
That's been the tradition
as often as she ends up 8-1 if you're not operating politically. And I think I could go a step farther and make the suggestion that... Yeah, go ahead.
It just could be she's doing her conviction. In fact, that shows she's not considering politics, that she's even willing to...
her conviction is not...
She's going with her conviction, Ro Khanna says. So I'm going to disregard the Constitution, and I'm going with my political thought, my conviction on this. He stepped in it on national television telling you exactly why there's those 8-1 rulings that Los has brought up a million times and that got brought up on the big weekend show.
8-1 is telling, because 8-1 is supposed to be 9-0. Now, I get it. When there's a 5-4, when there's a 6-3, typically there is a legal argument to be had on each side. Mm-hmm. And, it depends where it all falls, but that's pretty typical. A 7-2 ruling, a lot of times, you will go, all right, a couple of them looked at this more politically than not. But 8-1 is telling, because 8-1 isn't supposed to exist.
Because they're all looking across the room at the one going,
what's wrong with this person?
Do you not understand what's happening?
And remember, oftentimes, that person has to write the dissent, which is when they really come across as foolish.
And get shredded by their own counterparts. As far as the liberal justices looking at Ketanji Brown Jackson going, I can't even defend this.
Yeah, every single time.
And I can't read it. I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, that's what she says.
That's right.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I just don't understand. To look at how this has played out, where every single time that she dissents on one of these, And if it's one of those 6-3s, they don't let her write the dissent. But the problem is they're looking around going like, this was what her legal argument was?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always disappointing to them.
The majority has written has written their legal opinion of her point didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It didn't make any legal sense because she's there to vote her conscience.
That's right. Voter convictions.
Voter convictions.
As Ro Khanna said.
You're not supposed to.
No,
you're not supposed to be there to vote your convictions.
You interpret the law. And we don't got to play it here, but there's a cut of Amy Coney Barrett, and I've given her a hard time. We've all given her a hard time, and there's situations where I think we are right in our disagreement with her. But she even talks about her decisions are not based on her personal beliefs. She goes through them and she says, "What does the Constitution say? I'm interpreting the Constitution. I am not voting my conscience. I'm not." Telling people that that this is how I feel about it. I'm telling people this is what the Constitution says.
Well, that was the argument that was made in the state of Georgia a week ago when it came down to the Georgia Supreme Court, that it should not be a partisan election, that it should just be based on what does this judge, this potential person who is serving on the Supreme Court, how do they view things? And they should view things as a judge, which is, I'm not bringing my own politics into the courtroom in this case.
I have to set them aside.
The merits of the case will determine how I view it. And it sounds really great until you're actually in one of those courtrooms and you want a judge who is strictly fair according to the law.
That's right. And the one that goes 8-1 is usually not that person.
8-1s should not exist.
That's right.
All right? 8-1s are supposed to be 9-0. Anytime there's an 8-1, you should be thinking to yourself, there are 8 legal scholars that are from different ends of a political spectrum, yet they all agree on the legality of their decision. And you have one dunce. Okay?
Yes. Oh, I know. I've got to see it. Bill's on the phone quickly, Bill, at 404-741-1230. What's up?
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show. Always love listening to you guys. Look, I was telling him elections have consequences.
Yes, sir, they do.
And people always forget that. And, we have such short memories, especially when it comes to the court. Look at what took place in Virginia. Those legislators passed a bill that was going to redraw that map. But yet the state Supreme Court said, wait a minute, our Constitution says it has to be done this way. Democrats have lost their minds that, the court overruled the people. It doesn't matter what the people may want. It comes down to what does the Constitution say. And another thing that I want to remind people, remember, every time there is a confirmation for the Supreme Court, what was always the one question that Democrats hammered any potential justice on? Where do you stand on abortion? They hammered that because they knew abortion was not constitutional. And it was just a matter of time that you got the right court, and the court was going to overturn that law as well.
Bill,
and that's what they do.
Bill's a wise man.
Call.
God, man, just
excellent call.
Nailing it down. Bill, thank you so much.
Bill, I hope you were by the channel when we were having the entire discussion about what was going on in Virginia. And I kept saying, do not be concerned. They have violated their state constitution, and I don't believe their Supreme Court is going to allow it to stand. Just as Bill pointed out, there's a legal way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And they could have, if they would have just done it the right way.
Had they just waited, but they were so gung-ho about getting it in for 2026. This was a timing and legality issue that happened. But yet they didn't care about the legal process one bit.
And their own staffers were like waving their arms.
In fact, for those of you who didn't follow it that closely, the state attorney general, by the time they argued in front of the Supreme Court, admitted that the vote of the people should not be a discussion point in this courtroom. It should only be the legality of the procedure.
That's right.
So the entirety of the vote, I can't believe you canceled out their vote. The state attorney general, a Democrat, agreed with the court that was not going to be a factor in the discussion or the decision.
How did they get it on the ballot with it being unconstitutional?
That was okay. Now you're opening up a big can of worms. Even the question, which we can hit some of this as we get into the next segment, but the wording, the phrasing of the question brings in the constitutionality of what was on the ballot, how they structured it, and the timing in which they did it. There were supposed to be additional special sessions that were never occurred, but then they back and said, no, we did it on this one. It's a timing issue.
Man, we need to get the Bill of Braves uniform. Dude's just hitting home runs. Can we get him on the field for the Braves? Maybe start hitting the baseball a little bit. When we come back, the problem with people having information too quickly is they react to it. Next on the Morning Extra.
Neil Bortz is only live on Extra 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Extra 106.3 app.
I want to tell you about the folks at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Great folks over there. You probably heard me talking about them for a long time. That's because this isn't just an advertiser for me. This is a guy that I've known for years, and Chuck, the owner of Central Heating and Air Conditioning. He's a friend of mine, and he treats you like he treats me. I've seen it in action. I've seen it happen. And when you know somebody like Chuck, you understand why Central's been around for over 75 years. Here in Atlanta, they do things the right way. And if you want to sign up for a maintenance agreement now where they come out to your house a couple times a year, make sure the AC is working properly before it gets real hot. And then later in the fall, the heating, they'll do the exact same way. When something breaks in your house, they'll already be on top of it. They'll understand the operating system that you have in the house, and it won't happen in the dead of summer or in the winter cold. They understand how the equipment actually works. You can trust that person standing in front of you in the living room because they're not there to hit some monthly quota. They are there to make a difference. They are there to provide a good service. That way you'll feel comfortable telling other people about Central Heating and Air Conditioning. And as I said, with that maintenance agreement, they're going to donate through July, Christmas in July. They're going to donate $10 from each new maintenance agreement to Skyland Trail, a great organization that is helping people with mental health issues in Atlanta. Look up Skyland Trail. Great organization, just as well as the folks at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. They're Carrier dealers. You get top-of-line equipment backed by top-of-line Carrier warranties installed by people you can trust. Here's the number, 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, delivering Carrier comfort for the world we share.
Hey, it's Front Office Los with Tom, the honest car guy. Let's talk about the new way to buy a car in 2026. Tell me how you can save clients thousands of dollars in this process.
I got a customer here, Jeff Everhart. I met him today first time because I delivered his 25 model Honda Pilot, fully loaded with only 16,000 miles on it. Jeff, answer Los's question about that one.
It was actually shocking. I mean, you hear the advertisements, you want to believe it, and then when you go through with the sale, and there's no extras, there's no dock fees, there's no storage fees, no transportation fees. The price I was given was the price that I paid plus their honest fee. I did save thousands of dollars, and it was a very quick sale.
Well, we appreciate that.
And did it from my living room.
Did it from your living room.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Babe, can you knock out my honey-do list today?
Oh, I know. I told you I'd get to it this weekend.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalomia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. I can't fix your marriage, but I can fix your house. With our handyman for a day service, we'll handle those drywall patches, that door that won't latch, the leaky faucet, and the wood rot all around your house. The whole punch list, done fast, done right. You keep your weekend, she gets the house done. Everybody wins. Book your handyman for a day at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day, the Trusted Toolbox.
School's out and it's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as the Blue Jays roll into town June 2nd through the 4th. Fans can look forward to back-to-back giveaways featuring the David Justice bobblehead presented by Truist on June 2nd and the Drake Baldwin hockey jersey presented by Xfinity on June 3rd. The series wraps up with Pride Night on June 4th. Fans can purchase the ticket package and receive a game ticket, access to the pregame party, and the Braves Pride Performance t-shirt. The homestand continues with the Pirates June 5th through the 7th, built by the Home Depot. Arrive early on Friday for the Summer Beach Bash theme night festivities, and again on Saturday for the pre-game block party. And Sunday is June's Kids Club Day. The first 3,000 kids will receive the crossover soccer jersey built by the Home Depot and can enjoy activities like the custom hat patch bar, player appearances, and more. Visit Braves.com/promos to see all of the fun and to get your tickets. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, May 26th, and here are your headlines. The U.S. military carried out what officials called self-defense strikes in southern Iran on Monday, targeting missile launch sites and Iranian boats laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. The CENTCOM said the actions were taken to protect American forces during the ongoing ceasefire. Chattahoochee Riverkeeper is investigating what it is calling an unprecedented fish kill downstream from Peachtree Creek after heavy rainfall sent polluted stormwater, untreated sewage overflow, and warmer contaminated water into the Chattahoochee River following weeks of drought conditions and low river flow. And finally, a Pebble Creek High School senior has been awarded a $10,000 Fox Theater Scholarship after being recognized for his work in technical theater, leadership, and scenic design, with Mike Leon Martinez now set to continue his studies at the University of North Carolina School of Arts. Rainfall is expected throughout the day here in Atlanta and around the surrounding metro area, with a high of 80 and a low of 69. With your Extra 106.3 headlines, I'm Bryce Gobert.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. We had a discussion about the constitutionality of the Virginia amendment to their constitution, or redistricting the ballot measure that was given the thumbs up. It was
a Bryce question.
It was a good Bryce question about how could they get it on the ballot if it was unconstitutional to begin with.
And so just to hit this really quick, because it was a 4-3 ruling from their Supreme Court that it was unconstitutional in the way that it was executed. And the two biggest areas were the intervening election requirement. The Virginia Constitution requires the General Assembly to approve a proposed constitutional amendment in 2 separate legislative sessions. That was the first problem that occurred. Also, the timing violation. The legislature passed the amendment for the first time on October 31st, 2025, after early voting had already begun in the 2025 general. That was the other timing issue. Again, you rushed it, which is what made it unconstitutional. And by the way, the constitutionality of the question never came into play, which was on the ballot. Question: should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adopt new congressional districts to restore fairness in the upcoming elections while ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future redistricting after the 2030 census?
Yeah. Yes or no? Do you want us to restore fairness? I mean, come on, dude. You're talking about luring? You're talking about leading a witness?
That's how. Yeah. And by the way, it took a ballot dump that evening of 130,000 votes in order for it to pass.
Yeah, of course.
So
Imagine
strange.
that. Yeah. So,
but it doesn't even. But the vote didn't matter. The vote didn't matter because they did not follow their own state constitution, and they will not be able to redistrict or consider it again until basically the way their state constitution runs, they really won't be able, unless they are able to do another vote, until 2028, but more than likely 2030 after the census.
That's right. Absolutely right. So you're wondering, there's your answer. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. But we always talk about how people react to things, and a lot of times when they have the full picture, Los, when they have all the information, they act and react accordingly.
I love that we're now having this pushback from the media, because on this radio show, we talk about some things that I think a lot of people, are interested in, but the news media and even a show that's as popular as, let's say, Clay and Buck, they would consider fringe discussion. And I get that. They try to stay very mainstream. Here's what the talking point's going to be. For instance, they would never do a story on Plum Island and the history of biological studies there and the history of Lyme disease and tick-oriented delivery systems that actually came from Nazi scientists that we brought over as part of Operation Paperclip. Because that stuff, you're like, what the hell? And now we have this outbreak of ticks. Now, I've been told it's because the weather was warm.
Not sure I'm buying it.
Not sure I'm buying it when farmers are talking about, why do I keep finding boxes dropped on my land of all of these ticks? We talked about the history of alpha-gal syndrome and making people resistant to red meat to where it makes them sick. They will consume less of it, which the left considers a good thing. That if you're consuming less red meat, you're doing less damage to the environment. So now the discussion has been out there for what now? Week and a half? 2 weeks?
Yeah, probably somewhere in there.
Well, the response has to come from NBC News. And let's also point out, once you had a free forum that Elon Musk created on X, that's where everyone's been sharing this stuff. It's like, look what I found on my property. Look what I'm seeing. Look what's happening. Look at all this information here. Well, NBC News had to step up and let you know in a very similar way to like 2020, 2021. Well, whatever you think about whatever's going on, that's just conspiracy theory.
Tick conspiracy theories. So we posted about the season starting early and a surge in people going to the ER for tick bites. That post got a lot of comments, like this one, claiming farmers are finding boxes of ticks on their property. And this one that mentions Pfizer's upcoming Lyme disease vaccine. Really started from an influencer who said she heard about it directly from farmers. Now, she didn't specifically make a connection to the vaccine, but a lot of people started to theorize it was related to Pfizer releasing the results from a trial for its vaccine. So I took those claims to the experts. There's been no evidence of these tick boxes being found. Now, they couldn't say for sure, but they were highly skeptical it's happening.
They don't need any help. They're doing perfectly fine infecting us just like this. I'm certainly not aware of any boxes of ticks. That seems very unlikely, and it doesn't really make sense to me that would be the case.
Also, there are already really high infection rates for Lyme disease.
Lyme is incredibly common already, and it's now the most common vector-borne disease in the continental United States.
Dude, well, they couldn't be.
By the way, what is that?
That looks like a
that box on the ground.
Laying on the ground. Well, they couldn't confirm that though. I mean, there's no way to confirm. You know, don't you love when they throw that in there, hoping nobody will take notice to what they've said?
Look at all the ticks that come pouring out of that thing,
dude. It's freaking insane. But NBC, of course, the place that everybody goes when you need to push a Democrat narrative. It's like them and the Washington Post and New York Times. Those are where it all starts, always.
By the way, you know who the person who's been pointing out the tick boxes and the association to, as we talked about, Bill Gates and his foundation, and here's the threat of Lyme disease and alpha-gal syndrome. It's Tim Burchett.
Yeah.
The Congressman from Tennessee.
Who will be on June 1st here on the Morning Extra, about 9 o'clock.
How do you like that one?
Yeah. And they're like, how long would you like to have the congressman on? I was like, as long as he's willing to stay. The hour. And he was like, well, I don't know if we can stay a full hour. I was like, as long as he can stay.
As long as he can stay. Because we will get into these tick boxes and the discussion of this. Again, if it was that fringy, why would he be talking about it in a way?
Because it's not.
Because it's not. It's fringy to NBC.
Well, that's
conspiracy because that's what they've been told to do.
That's exactly right. That was the marching orders. Those are here's your plan. We're sticking to it. You don't change directions. This is what we do. And Tim Burchett, a guy, if he brings it up, man, I put stock in it. And even to the point of I'm not much into UFOs and aliens and stuff. When Tim Burchett says it, it's got my attention because I trust and believe it. He's one of the very few people in D.C. that I think actually stands on principle.
I'm just going to say this and we can move on to our next topic. Tug will not have an open discussion about UFOs and UAPs, but ticks. Because he's now seen enough where he's like, something's happening.
Dude.
And my man prepped me on this.
Dude.
Like 2 months ago, a month ago.
And you hear the lefty loonies talking about how do we make people sick so they don't eat beef?
Yes, biochemists talking about less beef consumption.
They bring it up all the time. Why would I not be concerned about it? That's the bigger question. Why would I not? And if I'm proven wrong, if we're all proven wrong, good. Then we explored it out. We fleshed out all the details, and now we've got nothing to worry about. But when I see clowns like that you got pulled up right now, explaining how, all we have to do is we can get, we can breed this tick and he can bite somebody and people be allergic. We'll make them stop eating red meat.
This is from the World Economic Forum in 2018. It was a discussion about how to get humans to consume less red meat. And this particular biochemist brought up, well, I mean, here's a way to do it.
Yeah. Not that we're working on it right this second.
What if it makes them sick?
Yeah. So crazy, dude. Absolutely nuts. Hassan Piker is a guy that the media and the left loves because he is just an avowed communist. He's a guy that whatever the communist way is, the communist story or the communist goal, he wants to make sure that it is accomplished. He partners with the CCP and people inside the CCP. And now he said, well, now's not a great time for me because the feds are coming out after me because of my support for the CCP and communists in Cuba. He's worried he might be made an example of. I would think you would love being a martyr for the commie cause. But no, he's nervous about it.
Is not great, okay? I mean, it's bull, but still not great that, they're after your boy. They're up my and I'll obviously get into it right now. I'll tell you all about it, but let me blast off real quick. We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me. Free me. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm about to be seemingly made an example of.
Good. I'm really actually thrilled by this because I want people to know you can't support communism. I mean, you can, but you are going to be made an example of, especially when you're supporting people like Neville Roy Singham, who is a billionaire that is spending around $278 million in a network spreading CCP propaganda in the United States in partnership with his wife, Jody Evans, co-founder of Co-Pink, that just went down to Cuba to support the communists down there. Good, Hassan Piker. Take the fall for these fools. Go ahead.
It's one thing if you have your own YouTube channel or wherever you want to have it, Twitch, anywhere, and you have a community of subscribers that are supporting this particular programming and you're making plenty of money off it. Like, fine, cool. What we're pointing out is what happens when it's one particular donor that's making this thing possible. Now, is that illegal? Well, not really. But when you start
going down to support the Cuban communists?
But once it starts turning into, and I'm sure we'll have some rules on the books on this somewhere, but when you start pushing this sort of commentary and it's predominantly coming from one person who's enabling it, I think the American people should know that. I think they should know the money that's allowing you to do this.
And you should have to be registered as a FARA, a foreign agent.
Foreign agent in that case.
Yeah.
Because of where you're receiving your money.
Guess who's not? None of them. And they're still going down and supporting the communists against the federal government of the United States. Well, that sounds really bad to me. When I hear it come out of my own mouth, that sounds really bad. So yes, Hassan Piker, you should probably be nervous that you're going to be made an example of. And you're going to take the fall, and they're going to let you. You're going to be the martyr, dude. Why are you upset? That's what you've been wanting. That's what you tell all the time. That's what you say all the time. How could you be upset about it? Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, clown. Oh, good. Another Chinese biolab. Boy, that's good news. Wonder if that's connected to the same group of people. Wonder if that's connected to Neville Roy Singham. I'm guessing the answer is probably yes. Somewhere down the line. Next on the Morning Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, May 26th. The Atlanta Braves were off yesterday. They open up their road trip tonight in Boston as they match up with the Red Sox. It'll be Spencer Strider on the mound. He'll be opposed by Ranger Suarez. First pitch tonight is set for 6:45. You can hear all the game action on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and for free on the Fan app. From the NBA, one half of the NBA Finals is now set as the New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers last night, beating them 130-93. They will now await the Western Conference winner as the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder are currently tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 from OKC Tips off tonight at 8:30. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
For more local sports, head over to The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. And for the latest political news and talk, stick with Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
It has begun. The Summer Starts Here sales event now through June 1st. Commuting every day, the 2026 Toyota Camry is now all hybrid with up to 53 miles per gallon in the city. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own it. And we've been voted Best of Cop for 2026, Best New Car Dealership, and Best Service Center. For well-qualified buyers, 5.49% APR for 72 months is available on the new 2026 Camry Hybrid. Non-Toyota owners may qualify for $1,000 Camry Conquest bonus cash, no trade-in required. Visit us on Cobb Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium. Marietta Toyota since 1975. We have been here and will be here for you.
5.49% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers will qualify. 1,000 Conquest for eligible current non-Toyota owners. Must finance or lease through Southeast Toyota Finance. No trade-in required. N6/1/2026. See dealer for details. All prices exclude tax, tag, title, and include dealer fee of $699.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we've forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bankshares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bankshares, member FDIC.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage. We do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
It's a big year. America is marking its 250th birthday, a once-in-a-lifetime moment, not just to celebrate, but to ensure all Americans, especially our children and our grandchildren, understand what makes us so special. Here's what keeps me up at night, a well-funded effort that has been underway for decades to twist and erase our history. Tragically, it has been very successful. That's why we built the American Journey Experience, a state-of-the-art museum and research library with over 100,000 artifacts focusing on American history from Christopher Columbus to the space race. Our mission is to educate, enlighten, inspire, empower, and activate people about the birth, the principles, and the eternal journey of this nation. This year, we're breaking ground on a larger facility and expanding nationwide, digitizing rare documents, sharing educational resources, offering speakers, hosting programs like our Summer Institute, and it can only happen because of you. America's story will be replaced or forgotten, but our goal isn't just for them to hear it. We want them to see it and touch it and experience it. I urge you, will you join us by giving $25 or more at theamericanjourneyexperience.com? Help us celebrate America. Tell her story.
Hey, this is Los with Terry from Alpharetta, who just purchased a new car with the Honest Car Guy, the new, fully transparent, honest way to buy your next vehicle. Terry, tell us about your experience.
I have a son serving in the military. He's active duty with limited time to look for a car. My son was looking for a used Hyundai Veloster, and I had heard about the Honest Car Guy on the radio, decided that might be a route to go, and we made a phone call over the weekend. He screen shared the information with us. We looked over the vehicle, and he took the reins from there, and they were able to walk us through the process of buying the car. We're very clear and transparent, and next thing we knew, we had a car in the driveway.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an Honest Car Buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
I'm Patrick Brown, former Army Ranger in the United States Army. Like many service members, I had to make difficult choices when leaving the military, and the most challenging thing was finding purpose in a new phase of life. Housing, employment, education, way too many decisions and no idea where to start. That was until I met the Warrior Alliance. They made it simple. They listened and quickly connected me to the services I needed. And like a trusted friend, they even followed up to make sure I was squared away. Change a veteran's life today by donating at thewarrioralliance.org, helping warriors navigate to success after service.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra.
But if you remember Sarah McLachlan, that song, In the Arms of the Angels,
Start at the top. Spend all your time.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance. For a break that would make it okay. There's always a reason to feel not good enough. And it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction. Oh, beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins.
You did good. Okay, that's what I needed. Now I can work on things from there. I just needed a good burst. I need 30 seconds of good, clean audio to be able to replicate AI Tug.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Daggum show has flown by. I guess it's just because, we had a few days off and get in here. There's so much to talk about, and bam. You've been such a great part of it, too, with all the calls at 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 on the social media platforms. You don't have time to call at Front Office Los, at Tug Cowart, at Extra 106.3. It's been a big day. We're going to wrap up on something that has been in my crawl for quite some time. And one of the things that I disagree with the Trump administration on is when he says we're going to bring 500,000 more Chinese students into the United States. I'm like, hey, let's think about this. Let's talk this through. And it's because another Chinese biolab pops up.
Every single time you find these places, typically out in California, and it's typically students that have established an undocumented illegal biolab, and it has some of the worst stuff in the world that's in it. And you ask the question, why do you need a biolab in your garage as a Chinese national who's here visiting as a student?
It doesn't make me feel nice, I'll be honest.
Let's hear from Fox News when they broke it.
New at 2, we're half past the hour, a possible biological lab inside a Las Vegas home, now under investigation, a federal investigation. Agents seizing vials of unknown liquids and probing a potential link to a Chinese national accused of running a similar lab in California that held deadly pathogens. Our senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is reporting live on this out of Los Angeles for us. Hello, William.
Well, Sandra, two amazing things about this story. One, the man who owns that Vegas lab, he's a Chinese scientist linked to the CCP, is and has been in jail the last 3 years. Secondly, the lab is not an FDA licensed facility, but it's in a house in Vegas, raided Saturday morning by the FBI, SWAT pulling out boxes of what police believe are hazardous biological agents and pathogens, normally found in a secure university or industrial lab with airlocks designed to prevent an outbreak.
Almost immediately, investigators observed multiple refrigerators, a freezer, and other laboratory-type equipment, along with numerous bottles and jugs containing unknown liquid substances.
So the Vegas lab, according to police, belongs to 62-year-old Zhu Baiju, a Chinese national and a fugitive who also goes by the alias David He. He was arrested in 2023 for manufacturing unlicensed medical devices and lying about unapproved HIV and pregnancy test kits that he was selling. He also operated this illicit biolab in an abandoned warehouse in Reedley, California, where investigators found thousands of vials of blood and tissue, 1,000 genetically engineered mice designed to carry the COVID virus, and CDC tests did show the vials contained HIV, COVID, hepatitis, herpes, and malaria. Police arrested Zhu, and he's been in jail ever since. Congressional investigators link the lab to the Chinese Communist Party, a tie that also suggests the same people are behind the Vegas lab.
What do we think these people were doing with those substances in the house? And I'll tell you, the truth is we don't know yet.
So House investigators say Zhu got financing.
And that's the part.
I feel I can fill in the blanks.
We don't know what they were doing with them.
And maybe he has to say that because I don't know who that was speaking. But I don't have a legal obligation. I can tell you what they're trying to do. Science!
Yes, exactly.
They're trying to
science.
do science. They're trying to do science. They're trying to just experiments. Nothing to see. Nothing wrong.
Somebody's house.
I mean, this guy, Los just came back from the DR from a vacation with his sweet wife for their anniversary and was asked about going to Africa because of Ebola. I mean, there's all kinds of things that people are nervous about, and random biolabs in California and Las Vegas make me nervous.
You would hope that when Donald Trump goes to China and meets with Xi Jinping, at least that can start the conversation of, hey, you know that guy that we locked up for the biolab? What else is he working on? Okay. Because we need these out of our country.
Well, that and just the connection to the CCP. I mean, they physically laid it out. It's all with connection to the CCP.
I'm just hoping that in the interest of oil in the future and getting access to our marketplace, that Xi Jinping is basically calling off the dogs when it comes to biolabs in the United States.
Clearly not. Clearly has no interest in calling off the dogs.
Because somebody tipped off the fact that this place existed.
We need more tipsters. We need because we found 3. Is this the third one or the fourth? Whichever it is.
Yeah. I want to give a good tip.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the third or fourth.
To tip everyone.
Yes. I want you to tip.
Everybody wants a tip.
Yes, they do. And look, sometimes they deserve it, sometimes not. But if we found 3 and or 4 of them, that means there are 300 or 400 of them. That means there's many, many more that we have no idea about yet. We've got to find them. We need as many people as we can going, hey, something's happening in my neighbor's garage and I'm not sure about it, but I see the fumes coming out from under the door.
What is his name?
Yeah.
David He.
Yeah. I don't think that's what it is.
I don't know if that's what it is.
I'm not so sure that it is David He. It might be something else. But regardless, I just know that the CCP is our biggest enemy in the world. There's not even anybody close. And they will do whatever it takes. I don't care how nice Xi Jinping seemed on that state trip. There's a reason that every gift that was given to them were put into garbage bags and left in Beijing. When they came home, they didn't even make it aboard the aircraft, Air Force One, to come back home with because they don't trust them. And good, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. We need more. We need more tipsters, Los. We need more people on top of this.
Oh,
and I hope the Intel community is working on it.
By the way, can I tell you about my other fun thing that happened at the Atlanta airport?
Yes, what is it?
So I go through the facial recognition software and I get pinged for like additional analysis.
Oh, no.
Now it's like, and my wife she was through, and I was like, well, just go find our bags. I'll just go take care of this. And most of the time it was somebody had some sort of registration issue, something went on. No, when I went through, apparently because of my name and because of my age, they wanted to double check that I wasn't a particular terrorist named Juan Carlos Sanchez.
Oh. Okay.
In fact, the guy looks over at my stuff. He goes, so, are you Juan Carlos Sanchez? I was like, no.
Nope.
No, I'm not.
That's not me.
And he goes, all right, well, have a good day.
That was it?
Well,
that was the secondary.
Well, I mean, the fact is he checked my identification, and apparently whatever they were looking for, I did not hit the...
Okay, got it. So something triggered it, but
I am not.
I'm not one of you.
I am not one of you.
That's right. It just seems like there'd be more. If they're going to flag you and pull you out of line.
Cartel-linked fugitive. Well, that's how you do it.
Yeah, well, but
you got these triggers.
Hey, are you a cartel-linked fugitive? No? Okay, have a nice day.
As I'm wearing my North Forsyth High School hat and like my Texas whatever fishing shirt.
Yeah.
It's like,
it just seems like there'd be more.
Would Juan Carlos have said yes?
You see, that's a great question.
You've got me.
Oh, yeah, it is me. Oh. Damn it, I can't believe they figured it out.
Well, but these guys passed freely during Biden's America.
No, I know.
They were moving back and forth.
It just seems like there would be just the tiniest bit more scrutiny than are you a cartel terrorist linked fugitive? When your answer is no, seems like they'd be like, well, maybe let's ask a follow-up. You know? Have you ever been to...
Actually, anything to declare? And I was like, no.
No, got nothing.
I mean, listen, it was a quick set of questions and some jokes and me answering the jokes. I was like, no.
I'm glad it went so easy for you, but it seems.
I did not get the Africa question. Some people got the Africa question.
Oh, so you didn't get that? You just had heard the other...
No,
I thought you had gotten it.
No, depending on where they were traveling from. It was also setting off.
I gotcha.
So they have a software process by which it is looking for certain flags.
Yeah.
And if you... Depending on your travel.
You got one.
Yeah. I share a name with freaking people that run cartels.
I am one of you.
That is right. I should have. And So Jesse Kelly stole my bit, but I'd been spending all week last week when we'd show up to the Dominican at different restaurants. I would be like, hey, the reservation's under Medina, but you might find it under Bronco. And I really thought about like, oh, are you? Yes, but call me Bronco. That kind of comedy didn't seem like it was appropriate at the time anymore.
No, it wouldn't be. Not right then.
Is your name on this? Yes, sir. But it doesn't say Bronco.
And it should. That's going to do it for us. We're going to turn this thing over to the Glenn Beck program. Then Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, the biggest show in all of conservative media. And after that, local afternoon show with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
Oh, my God!
Yes, that's what you'll hear. Lots of oh, my gods, because he is not afraid to get all fired up and shout, oh, my God. He is the one, the only. Kimmer, and he's up at 3 o'clock. We will be back with you tomorrow, about 6 a.m. For Los and Bryce, I'm Bronco for Bronco
or Juan Carlos
and Juan Carlos and Bronco and Bryce and all the whole Hee-Haw gang. I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, yeah.
Need more than just headlines on your ride to work? It's the Morning Extra, live from 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.